That's what I'm talking about. What's going on, everyone? Welcome, Goglings, Gogorifics, Gog peoples, Gogs of the world unite. I hope everyone is doing well, and I hope everyone is looking forward to another episode of Pen and Pixels. It is episode 346 of Pen and Pixels. I am your host, Arvin Elleron. This is the show that focuses on story and narrative every Tuesday afternoon. And today we are going to be continuing story and narrative by continuing a story we started last week, and that is The Power of Talisman Adventures, as we continue this sponsored campaign from Pegasus Spiele. And I want to thank again Pegasus Spiele for the support of the campaign and all of you lovely folks for being here. Before we go any further and get into the question of river crocs and things like that, I do want to welcome everybody again and remind you that a way to support us is to follow us here on GOGcom's Twitch channel. Subscribing to us here on GOGcom's Twitch channel is also a huge help. So any support that people can give there really helps all of us out and of course helps the channel out. And please consider clicking through, because we to our individual channels, because we all have our own individual subscriptions and Patreon systems and all that kind of good stuff as well. And so it is because of that we are here and ready to go. So I am going to unmute myself and let the folks know that we're ready to go, and then I am going to unmute them. And last but certainly not least, I am going to head over to reveal. Wait for it. There we have them. The crew has arrived. And they are back. We've actually just been in suspended animation. We just all agreed collectively that we would just sit here in the same seats and not actually move for a week. And so that's basically what it's been. Yeah, exactly. Frozen in spot. And now we can unfreeze and return to the game, which is really great. That's not entirely accurate. The reason that we're doing 2 talismans in a row, I mean, I love the game anyway, but the reason that we're doing it today is because last week was kind of a cluster, you know what, because I was dealing with things about my house and historic commissions and solar panels and approvals and all that kind of stuff. Really exciting stuff, let me tell you. The best part of adulting is figuring out how to manage things with your house. But I'm happy to say that they approved the solar panels, and that's great. And I'm done with the historic commission for now. I mean, they're nice people. I just don't want them to have meetings Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Let's get our freaking priorities straight here, people. But I wanted to make sure that we got in a real, honest to God, full session, and not one that left our players, half of them in a river while they're being, in one case, turned around and around by an angry crocodile. So I wanted to kind of make sure we could move on from there. And so we are back with Talisman Adventures. Quick note, by the way, programming note, next week is going to be a new game and kind of an experiment for me on Pen and Pixels called Road Warden. I'll talk more about that, but it will involve chat's involvement. So I'll talk about that after I let these folks go. And then the week after that is going to be D&D with GOG Ghosts of Saltmarsh, where I'll be joined with 3 of 4 of these fine adventurers, and Bruce will step away for Inanda, just for this one, and we'll be doing some Ghosts of Saltmarsh, and that's what we've got going on as far as that's concerned. Last, I'll mention that I don't think we have anyone else after us tonight, I don't believe, so I'll mention that this evening at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Citizen Sleeper, which I believe I do have the GOG.com version of that, our vocalist vocal team is going to be taking a shot at that, so we're going to have professional voice actors doing a little bit of the voices from Citizen Sleeper, so I recommend that we get that going. And if you want, you can stop by my channel at 8:30 p.m. Eastern for that. But right now what we've got is Talisman Adventures, and it's my great pleasure to welcome a group of people who are all totally awake and not at all tired. And so I will start with the most awake of them all, and that is Pyron Jade. Pyron, I hope you're doing well. How is everything with you, and who are you playing tonight?
We are a group of mentally stable people with a regular sleep schedule. Nothing can ever go wrong. I'm doing okay-ish, I would say. Universe is treating me well, trying to find time for maybe adding a stream here or there, preparing the team for Halloween, which is always a really big thing on the channel. And with the GOGCOM witch in chat that some people might know. If not, tell the other people about it. Well, if you know about it, tell the other people who don't know about it. And also, I'm playing Regina, who's a pixie, but a fighter pixie. And now also has a book on tactics, which she liberally used. And she just skewered a crocodile and would be really, really pleased with the situation if there wasn't another Crocs currently dragging down Reginald, and Hweddle is turning into a wooden doll.
Yeah. Other than that, everything's fine.
In some corner of her mind, she is like, hey, None of this is my fault this time.
Yes, this is an excellent point. I think everything is completely normal. Actually, Regina was definitely kicking some ass last week with the destruction, I think, of major hits on two of the crocs, but there is one croc which remains, the final croc, if you will. And before we deal with that final croc, we have to find out about the person whose character is currently being rolled by that croc, and that is Dark Saber 2K. Saber, good to see you as always. Thank you for Moobot and Dashboard help. And how is life in the universe with you since last week? And I noticed I've lurked a couple times in your Skyrim streams, so I see that you've been doing some crafting, as you said, for fun and profit. How you been enjoying that? How's life been with you? And who are you playing today?
Help me. I can't stop playing Skyrim. I have a game I'm playing parallel to the one I'm streaming, so that the one I'm streaming, like, people could be like, yes, come back next time. We'll be picking up right here. Right, I'm going to go over to my other save now. I'm off stream and play that one instead. I'm
Sleep
going in
Rim.
completely different directions.
Yes.
So, yes, a lot of Skyrim. We also did some Phasmophobia on Saturday, and we'll be doing it next week. And I believe Mike will be available for that. He let me know. So we're going to enjoy some more VR flailing next week, which I'm looking forward to. It's always a good time. But yes, I'm still in mid-peril, stuck in the spin cycle with a croc.
Yes, that's true.
So
you were in the washing. You were on the spin cycle. That's a good way to put it.
Yes, very definitely. So we think we worked out we've got about 2 minutes before I have problems beyond ongoing damage vis-a-vis ghouls starting to degrade in water. So
Yes.
help.
Yes, that's going to be a problem. I should say that one thing you haven't had to deal with yet, because you've been held fast by a croc's jaws, is resisting the river's current. And one of our players whose character is currently in the river, may or may not have to then do a test. Spoiler, they'll have to resist being swept away by this current. Again, players haven't had to worry about this because all the time in the water has been spent getting chomped by a crocodile who has kindly kept you in place. So like a warm hug of a baby with teeth. So Reginald is going to have to deal with that. We will see how that happens. Will they handle the artifact with care this time, or will we get a statue? I feel like Undeveloped Bruce at some point is going to go up, right, and is going to be like it's some major like coding thousands and thousands of people are going to be there, like some job thing or whatever, right? Or maybe runs for Parliament, and like everyone's, and at like the acceptance speech, someone's gonna be like, could you comment about the time that you took the coin that was clearly cursed? And I feel like that's going to happen from this point forward. But I'll talk to Bruce in just a minute. First, I want to say hi, of course, to the amazing and awesome Peripheral Mike, who is here with us. Mike, how are you doing? How's life in the universe with you? I think you've fended off your cats, from what I can tell. And who are you playing today in today's game?
Yeah, I've fended them off for now, just in case anybody sees me doing this. So I have an acoustic curtain behind me. TLDR, acoustic curtains make great cat scratching material. So my cats are currently running around it like a small hurricane. But I can hear them trundling up and down stairs at the moment, chasing after each other. Oh no, here's one. Hello. Hello, the most mischievous of the two. I'm good. I'm really good. I'm really tired, though. It's a weird week, and I'm not sleeping, and I might die. But I'm okay. So how are you? I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Excellent. Fantastic stuff. I'm playing this guy. I'm playing Lump, the warrior troll, who is currently, I think, after Regina did an epic attack on a crocodile and killed it, I think, is about to do something super dumb, but very lumpy. Basically. And also, yes, if you are watching Darksaber2K's stream of Phasmophobia this Saturday, I'm going to wait before Darksaber2K says, no, it's not this Saturday, it's next Saturday. Excellent, this Saturday, cool. Yes, I will be playing in VR because I hate myself, so that's a thing. And also I hate my neighbours, so that's also a thing. But it's okay. It's okay. I've just got new people that way and a new baby that way. It's fine. They already hate me. It's okay. The amount of horror games I play. But I'm fine. How are you?
It is. I'm fine, and I'm better now that I've heard all these things.
Excellent.
About the way that you are. As you continue to play Lump,
Really
we're going to see.
tired.
And it's true. They don't need sleep. It's Halloween right now. It's the Halloween season. Like when you get into November, or let's say March, understandably horror games then I can do it. But right now it is the season. But it is good to have Mike with us. As Wayman Wolf just said, 'tis the season, Mike. Also, I want to note Arudnel's comment, naming the Krog Maytag gets things clean, but the delicate cycle never seems to work. Well done, Arudnel. Good stuff. But last and certainly not least, we have someone who has spent the better part of a week explaining to people both on and off stream, recorded and non-recorded, why their character decided to actually pick up a coin that was allegedly cursed. And Hweddle is slightly stiffer as a consequence, slightly, less agile, a little more wooden in expression, one might say. But how are you, Bruce? Have you thought through ways to get out of this problem? And who are you playing today?
Yeah, I'm playing Hweddle, Wed's Cragman, the dwarven minstrel who plays a Kruth, which is a type of bowed lyre that some people mistake for a lute, would you believe? And a lute's completely different type
Let
of
me be
instrument.
clear that the amount of times I've been reminded about this is directly proportional to how many times you will be reminded of eating a cursed coin. I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know.
I accept my fate. I have no idea what happened last week. I mean, Hweddle, it wasn't my fault. Hweddle did it.
Yeah, no, it was Weddle's fault.
He's on such a quest to prove that the dwarves created the talismans and that the elves are just spreading this make-believe stories of this magic wizard man that did all these things that are actually things that the dwarves literally did with their hands and hard work. Yeah, wizard man. It just sometimes it overrides all common sense, and he's just really had to find proof. He was so certain in that moment that he was going to find proof. And this was a dwarven made coin, and it was going to disprove all the elven theories, and he's going to, be able to take scratchings of it to take back to the city to show the dwarven scholars and prove it once and for all. And just his dream was so near, and he just tried to eat the coin. I mean, wouldn't you? But the good thing is, once he turns into a wooden doll, he'll float, and then Lump can just trawl the beaches looking for him in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's always, it's a silver lining. I would totally agree with that. Yeah, no, it's going to be great.
Hold on, I haven't agreed to this silver lining.
Don't worry,
Great, you've turned into a puppet, and therefore we've lost two characters. Lump was never seen again.
Well, Lump's got all the other dolls, so if he wants to complete the set.
It's true. I am very excited to be able to see how Hweddle is going to get through this, but I'm sure that we will all find a way to address it together once we deal with a problem. We are beginning, as we generally don't do, particularly chat, but today we are beginning mid-combat, so let me just get together some weather, moderate rain, and let me also put together storm at sea, because we definitely need that too. Let's get the storm at sea going. Hang on just a second. There we go. Good. We got some shouting and people being really freaked out, and that sounds about right. So we also stopped in the middle of a combat round, which is not how I like doing things. But I believe the last person who went was Regina, and was the one who had struck that blow to the crocodile. Now, I think the order that I had was Lump going first, Reginald second, Regina third, and then I had Hweddle going fourth. Is that accurate or no? Go ahead, Pyron. Is there...
I think I was the last time, or if maybe Lump was waiting for a top patrol. Also, I've got a question.
Yeah,
Do we get our light fade back because it's a new session?
Yes,
and
you do
also,
get your light. You do get your light. Fade back.
Does my tactician's role move over, or do I do it anew? Because otherwise, I would kind of be carrying a light fade effect over to the next session, while also getting a new light fade. And
which would be sort of double dipping.
Yeah? I mean, I don't mind double dipping, but I just wanted to bring it up.
I don't think there'd be anything that would explicitly say you couldn't do that.
I will give you a choice. Do you want to keep the tactician's role, or do you want a new light fate set?
New light fade set.
Okay. So then the tactician's roll will be, I think that seems fair. So we will have, again, Lump, you have 1 out of 6 to start out with. Yes. Huedel, you 2 out of 7 to start out with. Is that right? Okay. Now, spell points, though, are not restored in case that, because we're still in the middle of that combat. Although, Huedel, I don't know if you used... I still had you at 5 out of 5, so I don't think you've used any, right? I don't think you've used spell points yet. Okay. Regina, I have you at 2 out of 7 light fate to start with. Okay. And then Reginald should be... wow. I had you at 0 out of 7 light fate, but now you're going to be starting at 2 out of 7 light fate, right? But we're not restoring your life. You have a 0-2 out of life for Peddler's Cloak. You have 5 out of 6 spell points. You have 17 out of 19 life. You were carrying the coin. Let's just be clear about that. 27 out of 27 for Lump. Huedel has 24 out of 30 life. And you're being also, just, too important, you're being spun by a crocodile. There's also that.
Don't forget, people who still have bonus armor from my the anvil, you still have bonus armor. So I think that's Regina only, because I think both Weddle and definitely Reginald. I think Weddle
had their bonus armor used. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. I'll also mention, chat, that inspirations have reset for the month. So if you support me over on my channel at a high enough level, then you can use those inspirations to help these players if they need it. Although I'm sure they laugh in the face of danger and laugh in the face of crocodiles.
That's fine. We have a torpedo. It's fine.
Absolutely. So so then my assumption is, if that's the case, then the last person to go would be Lump, and then we go back to the top of the round. Is that where we're at?
I thought so. I'm going to wait until anybody else contradicts that.
Unless, because I know...
I also think so.
Yeah, I think that's right. I know Regina was the last one to go, but I wasn't sure if Lump went last. All right, so let's have Lump go, and then we will reset for the beginning of the next round, unless Lump, tears the crocodile in two or something like that. So what are you going to do, Lump?
I'm going to run to the edge, dive off, and try and hit the crocodile with both fists.
Outstanding. I want multiple people in the water.
Swan dive. Yep, swan dive in. There's just this chunk, 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 chunk. And Regina, who I assume is near the edge of the boat, you just see this shadow above you. As this double-fisted swan dive, just flies into the water towards the crocodile. So I'm going to attempt to hit it.
All right. That sounds good.
Thanks.
That sounds like a plan. I love all of it. None of that requires any checks yet, because all you're doing is diving in, and Croc is very large. So go ahead and make your attack on this creature, please.
Excellent. So it will be 86. I've forgotten how to attack.
It's an incoming artillery shell. It's true, Ridnell.
It's almost,
pretty
plus
much the case.
My brawn.
Hizzy's raises a sign with a 10 on it. Well, wait till he tries to hit the thing. If he misses completely.
Wait till I land first. I could land like that. Do you know what I mean? You have an injury. Good news, you only have an injury. Bad news is you've removed all of your limbs.
Yes.
That's the injury. 3d6 plus brawn.
Lump jumps in the river jumps out.
That's a good point, actually.
Troll lands still a 10, Waymond? All right, well, listen.
So the last die is the Kismet die, isn't it? Just
correct. Last die is the Kismet die, that's right.
Okay. Oh.
Artrollery shell. I'm here for the artrollery shell. Look at chat.
Artrollery shell.
Look at chat.
Who said that?
Dominus Inferos.
Dominus Infernos.
Artrollery shell is good work. Good stuff. Well done.
That's it. That's our show, folks. Good night.
Artrollery shell. All right. So I don't think you're dropping one of those. You have a 3 + 6 + 3, so you have doubles. And do I read this right? You have a 10?
Yes. I have a brawn of 8 and a +2 because I have a focus in melee.
Good gravy. Well, I'm here to tell you that 22 is a success, and in fact,
of the few things Lump does exceptionally well, it's hitting things with his fists.
Absolutely. So that is a great success, which means you will inflict full damage on your target, and your opponent does not get an action. So you may roll your damage against this large crocodile.
Marvelous. So I'm going to do my
now it's a
damage.
10.
Yeah, now it's 10 because I also get to add my brawn to my damage if I get a great success.
Okay.
Because of, I believe, 2 weapon fighting. Let me just double check that actually. If you roll a great success or better while attacking with 2 weapons, both fists, you add your brawn or agility to your main weapon's damage instead. Yes, there we go. So
All
let's
right. It's
figure
Crocs'
this out.
descendant. Yes, it's true, Echo. Sadly, Crocs. Now it's only a croc, though, so now it's no longer Crocs. It's, you know.
It's no longer Crocs, it's just one Croc.
Yep. As you just try to
Plus
punch through its
1d6.
scales.
That plus that plus that. Yeah, there we go. 11 points of damage.
All right. So 11. This. Okay. So you just punch right through it. You see, I would say that, Saber, you feel like this thrashing as Reginald, as you're being rolled around. And Hweddle, who's right next to it, can actually see like one of the scales just cracks as Lump just pounds the just like, Croc is still here. Well, listen, sorry, man. They ran with the wrong crowd. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry.
Yes. And so that just absolute destruction of this thing's side. Not dead. That definitely hurt it, though. And now you have a nice open place to continually bash into the nice soft croc meat below. Okay. That's going to bring us to the top of the round. Now, let me remind everybody, now that we have not 1, not 2, but 3 people in the water, and 2 of them not held by a croc, that at the beginning, before you take your action, you are going to have to, Lump and Hweddle, resist the river's current to avoid being swept away. Reginald doesn't have to make this check. Reginald just has to avoid, drowning while he's being rolled repeatedly by the croc. And Regina's flying and everything's fine. So there's no problem there. So with that said, the croc has been damaged. The ship is starting to move away from the croc in the battle. I mean, they're not abandoning you, but they're like, this whole time Prish has been trying to to move the damn thing away from this attack. So that's beginning to happen. So with that knowledge in hand, what order would the party like to go in? And in case anyone's curious as to why a croc did not attack back, it's because he was attacked by a troll and does not get an action in return because of Lump's success. So that's why the croc did not go. So, in our new round, who wants to go in?
I feel like the croc is well occupied, and I would go later just in case, I don't know, a dwarf floats by or something and needs some help.
Okay.
Yeah, you never know.
It's true.
Things happen.
Can happen. All right, so you're going later
Yep.
in the round. What about Reginald,
Yep.
Lump, and Hweddle?
Well, my plan was to try and kill the croc, essentially, and release Reginald from its jaws.
Okay.
Wrestle the croc! Wrestle the croc!
I can do that, yeah.
Make sure you do it after the croc lets go of Reginald, or you're going to be wrestling both. Like Lump is just holding on to the croc, like he's holding on to
the back
Reginald.
of the croc trying to pull its
I
jaws
was,
apart.
yeah,
with me.
sort of. Yeah, I was a little bit like that. I was going to start riding the croc and then just try and grab both hands under its top jaw and then just lift its jaw up.
That sounds terrifying, but also cool.
So Lump and Hweddle go first, so we know what's up with the croc and we know what's up with the dwarf.
Sounds good.
Seems reasonable. Lump, do you want to go first? Hweddle, do you want to go second, if I understand that correctly?
I'm happy with that.
I feel like Hweddle should go first because inevitably the rest of the team is just going to have to tidy up after whatever stupid thing he does.
Fair enough.
I could go after Lump because I think
Classic.
worst case scenario is I go for another trip around. Hey!
And
Okay.
then I go last and see what actually happens.
Yeah,
I'm
what's
still
left?
staring down at what
Just the waters, just the choppy waters, nothing visible at all.
Just adventurous soup just below you.
Yeah.
Just-
I used to have a party. All right. Right. Okay. Assuming everyone is on board with that, then let us begin with Hweddle. So, Hweddle, before you take your action, I'm going to need you to resist the river's current. And so I need you to test, please, athletics, brawn specifically, to see if you can resist the river's pull. And I'm going to pull up our handy-dandy flow chart made by a certain stream team leader, which is whether you have the skill of athletics. If not, then 3d6.
Go.
So a 6 will not accomplish it. That is a failure. So I'm going to, let's see. Well, I can't have you roll damage on yourself, so I will do that. Typically, I very seldom in this game, in this system, roll dice because it's all about the heroes. But in this case, I do have to do that because it's a little lame to be like, do the damage to yourself, because it's the river doing it. So, in this case, you were...
No, with my rolls, maybe I do want to do the damage to myself.
Not with what I just rolled. I just rolled 2 1s on 2 6-sided dice to give you a total of 2 damage. So you should be glad about that, I think. Now, that ignores armor if you had any left. I don't think you had any anyway. So the good news is you're only down to 22 out of 30. That's the good news. You may take no further actions this round, as all of your effort is being spent trying not to drown. So you are currently attempting not to drown. This is why this has to happen before the action. Sadly, yes. Exactly. Swimming while also stuck in the, in the clutches. So I'm sorry to say that is a failure and you take damage, but it could have been worse. Okay, so that is Weddle. Now we come to Lump, who is attempting to do this, but Lump must make the same roll. So athletics, Lump, do you have this skill?
Let's have a good look. Athletics, I do.
Do you have a focus in, I guess it would be, well, no, brawn, athletic, no. So
Swimming?
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that. I would take survival. Do you have a focus in survival?
No, I don't have a focus. I have the skill survival. Because survival a focus in athletics?
No,
Or are you
I looked
talking
at the wrong
separate
thing.
skill?
I looked at the wrong thing. I'm sorry.
okay.
That wouldn't be accurate. It would be... Maybe I should take a look at survival and see what the focus would be. Do you have a focus in rivers?
No.
Okay.
I don't even know what skill that comes under. No.
That comes under survival. That's the thing I was
don't.
looking for. Okay. So then just 3d6 plus your aspect. But that's pretty good because your aspect is brawn that we're looking at here. So
brilliant.
3d6 plus brawn.
3d6 plus
That's the I don't want to die right now roll.
25, and I get a
Wow.
life feat.
Yes, actually, that's true.
Cha-ching.
So you get a great success out of that. And it means that you will now get to climb back on board and still make attack this round, though at a -2 penalty. Staying in the water and attacking bestows a -4 penalty. So this is the problem with constantly fighting in the river. You didn't have that penalty last time because you had just literally, Brad Pitted it over just jumped on top of it basically as you were attacking. But now you were trying to fight the raging river and a crocodile.
So, talk to me about the possibility of dragging the crocodile on the boat.
That is going to be an exceedingly difficult task, nearly impossible.
Nearly impossible.
Yeah, I mean, the difficulty is going to be enormous. Like,
Like-
basically, if you roll 3 6s, maybe.
3 6s plus my 8 brawn.
Correct.
Can he be assisted?
No, not on something like this. Largely, I think, because you, Regina, are like, what are you doing? As he grabs the crocodile.
Okay,
like,
yeah, I'm
come
not
with
the
me.
fastest.
And let's remember,
Okay.
he's climbing onto the ship. I also want to be clear. Are you taking the crocodile with you onto the ship with people? I just want to make sure I'm clear.
Yeah, pretty
Looks
much.
like Croc's back
okay,
on the
so-
menu, boys. All right.
So, considering I just rolled a 6, a 5, and a 6 on 3 6-sided dice,
No good.
I'm not gonna push my luck in regards to that test. What I am gonna do though is I'm gonna partially climb back onto the ship,
Okay.
and then jump off the ship and elbow drop onto WWE style onto the crocodile.
Here's what I'll say about that. You can
Yeah.
climb back onto the ship, but if you're then going to jump back off again, you're going to have to wait for next turn. So your choices are climb back on, wait for next turn, and attack without penalty, or attack this turn but on penalty.
Okay, I'll
And
climb
you still
back
have
on
to
and
make the
attack.
river check next turn. So
Okay, I'll climb back on and attack. I'll
Sorry.
do the boring pedestrian one.
you're going to climb back on, you'll attack next turn. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
I'll
want you to
climb
be
back on.
super epic in how you describe it for me, though. Trust
Wait,
me.
hang on. Sorry. Did you say climb back on and attack next turn,
Next
or
turn.
attack this turn a penalty?
Attack this turn a penalty staying in the water. You can't.
Oh,
you
no,
can't
then I'll
climb
attack
and
this
do-
turn.
Okay, that's
You
fine.
say he can attack at a -1 if he climbs up?
No, if he climbs up and attacks, he'll be able to attack without any penalty, but he will have to do it next turn because it's going to take his action to climb up and out of the water.
So in that case, I'll take the whatever penalty it was and I'll attack it in the water.
Okay, that would be -4.
Okay, that's fine.
Tuesday Night
So
Raw.
that
Yes,
would
Wayne.
be- Yeah, well, that's what I was going for. So that's my normal roll. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's go with an 11, and I've screwed it.
I will, however, accept that dark fate.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
Okay, yeah, unfortunately, I don't believe that's enough. Let me just confirm. Yeah, that is not enough, I'm sorry to say.
Damn it. Okay,
So,
we know it's nearly 11, so we had to check on
No,
11. We know
it
it's
was a little
nearly
bit further away, actually. I was looking at the wrong number. So, yeah, sadly, that's not going to get the job done.
Okay.
But you are in the water and have not gone farther away, so there is that.
So I'm interlocked with the crocodile at the moment.
Well, yes, sort of. You're right next to it. You haven't totally grabbed onto it, but you're there as it's being rolled over. And speaking of being rolled over, you're rolling over to get Reg. Yeah, let's go faster. Here's Reginald. Okay, so Reginald, you were stuck in the crocodile's jaws, and I believe you have an opportunity here to break free of it. Let me double check and make sure what the check was. Yes. So. That means you can attempt to escape. So you're going to be making an athletics test here, and either agility or brawn. So first question, do you have the skill of athletics? So a big 3d6.
Let's make that a 4d6.
Yes.
Light fate.
Power of light fate.
Oh, I never thought that.
You just
Could have
don't give
added
him a
another
dark
one.
fate.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
Another one.
Okay, 4d6.
It's a lot of ones. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeesh.
At least the Kismet wasn't a 1.
yeah, that's
Oh.
not so hot. Okay, let's see. If
Let's
you remember,
go
you had
round
some great
again.
rolls last time, all of you, and maybe now that it's all come to roost. Okay, you are going to take 6 points of damage, and I'm afraid that's going to go straight to you because you're out of armor and out of Peddler's Cloak life.
Yeah.
So you're at 11 out of 19. We still have a few turns before you have to worry about the whole falling apart as a ghoul thing, but that sadly was the case. Okay, so let's see. That was attempt to do that, right? So we had that. Okay. So all right, now you have a chance. So that was the test, and I guess what I also should point out, Reginald, is that you could attempt to be attacking it while grabbed. And in fact, if you want, I could make it where I shouldn't have ex post facted this, but it's okay. I could make it where you could attack, but at a significant penalty. Afterwards, I mean, I'm not gonna. Here's what I'm gonna do. You'd have to take you were gonna take damage regardless. So the question is whether or not you attack and then take that damage, or whether you try to make your test to escape and take the damage. So I'll leave it up to you. We're going to keep the damage the same, but I'll give you the choice as to whether you want to try to escape or whether you want to attack.
We'll keep it. We'll keep it as the escape attempt.
Okay. All right. So then Reginald is going to take that damage. We will see what happens next turn. Regina, it's your turn, and it looks like as usual, you being the Croc Slayer, there is a croc that remains that must be slain.
So, is Weddle floating off?
Weddle is kind of struggling to stay afloat, but is not floated off completely yet.
Okay. Okay, so in that case, I'll try to score the crocodile.
Okay.
One moment, I have like my character sheet open and everything. Here's the diver. One moment, I need to. But this should be the one. This should be my attack roll from last time. You know what? I think I should make sure that I hit that croc. I'm gonna use I'm also gonna use a light fate so that I can roll more die.
Okay.
Click, 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 click. Roll!
Okay. So one of those you're going to drop, right? Which I guess is
I'm gonna drop the 2.
right.
Because the 3 at the end is the thing anyway. So
Right.
it's going to be a 19
That will
with,
hit.
with doubles.
Which means a great success, which means that you attack and the creature does not get an action back against you. So you can attack and do your full damage to it.
Okay, so that is then 1d6 plus 8, if I'm not mistaken.
Sounds right.
Why? Okay, This is not good.
9.
I'm gonna use.
Wow.
No. Yeah, again, I've rolled 3 ones for damage
You
last
have
time.
really, and that you've been crushing it despite the fact that's been happening. So
Okay,
you did
I will.
not
No,
quite
I'm
kill
gonna
it.
use mercy. I'm gonna use merciless,
Okay.
which I spend a light fate and exchange my 1 for a 2 to at least do 10 damage here.
Okay. You have left it with very, very little life. Let's be clear. You are currently sitting at 1 out of 7 light
Seriously.
fate. But it looks very close to death. There's a lot of blood. Reginald, you see a lot of red sort of mixing in with the blue around you.
That's 0 light fate. I just spent both of them.
Oh, that's right. You spent 0. That's right. You spent both of them. Yeah. So 0 out of 7 light fate. Okay. Well, as we come to the top of the round, I'm going to notify the party that I am going to spend a dark fate, since I was given an extra one, for which I am grateful. I'm going to spend an extra dark fate to increase the threat of this creature. You do not know how much it's been increased, but just be aware that for this round it will have an increased threat. So, with that said, you can now decide what order you want to go in. This thing is very close to death.
Shall I just go first to see if I, float away?
If you say, okay.
I think I'll go last.
Smash croc, smash croc, smash croc.
All right. So then,
That's all I'm gonna do.
Are you going with two? Or Lump? Are you going and then Regina's cleaning up, or like? who
I'm
wants
happy
to
with
go
that.
first?
I would lump to go first.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I'll
then
go
it's
first.
Weddle, Lump, Regina, and Reginald. Okay, let's start with Weddle. First, you have to make this check, Weddle, to see if you are kept from being swept away by this creature.
Rolled a 10.
So that is unfortunately not going to be good enough. That is a failure, which means, let's see whether my dice roll again fail me and help you. No. Nope, that wasn't as good. That would be 9 points of damage. As you are like, okay. You are still not swept away, but you are struggling, trying not to drown. I know this has been a fascinating couple of combat rounds for you, Huedel, but nothing motivates you like trying to stay alive, which is what's been happening here. Okay, so next up is Lump. Lump, you have to make that same check, please, to see if you can stay here.
Sorry, what was?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Did you? Yeah, no, you were, because you attacked from inside the water.
I'm in the water.
Yeah, so you've got to make your check. So the check for this
A dumb
is
lump move.
the check for this is going to be athletics,
Athletics. Yep, cool.
and then you have if you don't have survival, we figured that out. So 3d6 plus brawn is what we're looking at.
Yeah, no, I do have survival. I just don't have.
No,
rivers.
but you don't have rivers. Is
So,
the point?
yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, cool. Let's go with 19.
19.
Yes.
You'll be happy to know, even with the improvement in threat, is still enough to hit it. And
Whoa, hang on a minute. No. That wasn't an attack.
Oh, that was for the
was
test. I'm sorry,
river.
that's right.
Yeah.
That works too, though. That also allows you to
Cool.
resist the river's current.
Marvelous.
Actually, since that was a great success, you can. So the same deal. You can attack with a -4, or you can climb aboard. Actually, with this success, and because you did this twice in a row, you can climb on board and make an attack this round, though at a -2 penalty. So the deal I gave you last turn, where you would climb up and then the following turn you attack, here you're actually able to climb and attack the same round, but you'll be doing it at -2 instead of -4. I doubt you would care about that, though.
There's a top rope slam coming up in this crocodile's future. Right.
right.
So climb up on the boat. I'm literally jump on the railing. I'm not even looking at the croc. I'm just going to fling myself backwards and hope for the best.
All right,
And I'm going to
sounds
roll a 16, and I get a life fate.
16. Because of the previously mentioned threat boost, that's not going to
Excellent.
quite do it. I was so
Excellent.
tempted to have it work and have you land directly on Reginald, but that's not, that would have been.
You could spend a light fate and re-roll one of those ones.
It's true.
Excellent, thank you,
do
Captain
that.
Life Fate. How do you do that? Just roll 1d6.
You just roll 1d6
Yeah.
and replace one of those ones with that, and you'll be down to 0 light fate, but I think that's worth it probably.
2 life fate. I started with 1, and I've gained 2 this combat round.
Right,
combat
because of that
encounter.
combat round. So you'll be back.
Yeah.
So you'll be up
So
to.
I'm now down to 2 because
Got
I've
it.
gained 1 just from there from the Kismet.
Hey, Loveless.
But so I'll replace that with a lovely 6.
That's much better. Yes,
That's double
that is
six.
that's actually
It
a great
is,
success
and it's
now.
a double.
So now go ahead and roll your damage as you
Marvelous.
aim
So that's
directly.
a great success. And I rolled a 6 on the Kismet die, which means this is... Oh no, this is really going to hurt this crocodile. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, let's try and get the macros out and figure this one out. So my normal dice for damage is 1d6 because I rolled a 6 on the Kismet die. I get a bonus dice on my damage. Plus, I get to add my brawn to my damage roll, which is 8. Oh, there's some crocodile jam coming up right now. That's 16 points of damage. So literally flipped troll, splat, belly flop onto crocodile.
Yeah, you do. Okay, so a couple things happen here. First of all, are you at 3? Are you at 3 out of 6 late fate now? Because you
2 out of 6 living.
But didn't you just get one?
Yeah, no. So I started the session with 1.
Right. You got
I've
2.
gained 1. I've gained 2, and I've just spent 1.
But didn't you just get 1 back on that attack, or am I missing something?
No, that was for damage.
Oh, that was just damage, right? Okay.
That's
so then you're at
damage.
2.
Yep.
Damage, not attack. So,
Yep.
all right. So yeah, you obliterate this thing, and in fact, so much so that there's very little left. You just hear this, Reginald, this horrible like, and then just then all of a sudden you are released, and I need you to immediately make a river current test, as Lump has created quite a cannonball there in the middle of this.
So I get
Crocs
bonus
do.
for being pushed towards the rope by the wave.
And you assume you're being pushed towards the boat and not towards the whirlpool of doom or something that's there. You got to pick the loot out of the gator chunks. That was very impressive, yes. But I do need you to make that check. So that means, do you have athletics as a skill, Reginald?
I don't know.
Okay, so I will need you to roll 3d6 for me, please.
Prish is just on deck going, oh my god, he's on the top rope. Oh, he's obliterated him.
I'll make it
all over.
4d6.
Okay.
13.
13 is not quite enough. So let's see. Let's see what happens. How do my rolls favor me this time? First time they were good for you folks. Second time they were not good. This is also, again, not good. Reginald, you're going to take 10 points of damage.
Oh, for crying out loud!
And you are going to take everything you possibly can to try not to drown. But the good news is now your party, there are no crocs anymore. And Prish yells, "Aye, man up, multiple creatures, troll, overboard, ghoul, just get all of them out, back on board." And multiple ropes get thrown down. So, you are all able to grab onto these ropes without too much difficulty and pull yourself onto the deck where you're all sort of like breathing heavily. And Prish sort of looks back at you and nods and says, "That was good work, my friends, good work. The blessed storm dancer will get us through the rest of the way." And he keeps his gaze straight ahead on the opposite shore and mutters to no one in particular, "The river takes her toll. Some passages may be easier than others, but no one sails for free." And the ship sails towards the opposite shore. So we're going to put that to a stop for the moment. And let's get a little bit of different kind of weather for this, I think. Let's see. One of my favorites. Let's go with that one. There we go. Add to game. There we go. One of my favorites. This is Willow in the Light by Kevin MacLeod. All free to use, by the way. Okay. So now, as the party is making its way to the temple, the party is going to have to make decisions about when they want to rest, although there is sort of some time pressure, as you folks all know, in trying to get this stuff done, in particular because of what's starting to happen to Weddle. So if you try to take sort of your standard, I'm just going to rest for an hour or two, who knows what's going to be left of Weddle by the time you get done with it. So I'm not trying to dissuade you, but I'm just letting you know. I know Reginald is super uber hurt, But I'm
It's a
just,
risk I'm willing to take.
yeah, I'm just sort of. What happens to Weddle?
Yeah.
That's up to you. I mean, listen, you can do what you like to try to get rest.
We've been told we can uncurse the tavern people. It's reasonable to assume this will also apply to Hweddle.
Just something to think about with the party. Totally up to you as to what you want to do. So you let me know. Otherwise, you're heading to the opposite shore. You're going to be at the other shore in about 10 to 15 minutes. And then the walk to the temple is very short, maybe 5 minutes after that.
Reginald's just lying on
I
the
was
deck.
thinking maybe if you give me the coin to lick a second time, it might undo the curse.
Reginald's lying on the deck. You just hear, no.
No, bad magic. Mm-mm.
No, Weddle.
Some
I
days it's-
have been thinking.
Yeah.
So, if you were like really small and out of wood, we could much easier transport you towards the temple instead of you being big and stiff.
I've got no qualms with that. If you just want to carry me the rest of the way.
I don't want to carry anything. I don't carry stuff. I have people for that.
Yeah, I mean, if your people want to carry me as my people, as long as my crew is well looked after, I don't really mind. Be nice, just sort of hanging out, you know.
No worry. I take good care of the crew. I really like loot.
Hweddle and Reginald, I need you both to make fortitude checks, please. Fortitude tests.
All right, well, I do get... It's going to be 3d6, but I do get a +1 because of the Briar Rose.
Mm-hmm.
What are the rules of the fortitude test?
And I'm quitting tabletop for the rest of
No.
the year.
Oh, no. So we'll talk about what
Ouch.
happens to Reginald in just a moment. So, Hweddle, what you're going to be doing is, if you have, do you have fortitude as a, actually, I think it might be, hold on a second. Let me double check because I want to see if it's not resolve. I think it's fortitude in resolve, if I'm not mistaken, but let me make sure. Just
Right, I really
one-
need to make a note of what I can spend light fate on. Where is this?
Just one.
Ah,
minute.
there it is.
Okay. Do you have the fortitude skill, Weddle?
No.
Okay, so then just 3d6 for you.
All right. Can I use a light fate, please? Does that make me roll 4 and then I chuck one away?
That would be right.
Excellent. I keep forgetting to use my light fate.
Yeah, definitely
you and
use
me
it.
both, friend. You and me both.
And can I chuck away the 1, or is it a
The
particular one? that's to chuck away?
one. Well, the one I believe the last die is the Kismet die, so that's something you can't do anything with. So you'd have to ditch the 2, is what you'd be looking at.
I'll ditch the 2, please.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not going to be enough. What happens is, as you're all walking, sort of like trying to get off the ship, Reginald and Hweddle both fall to the ground unconscious. Now, Hweddle, let's see, Hweddle wakes up a little bit earlier than Reginald does, and Hweddle, when you wake up, your hair has turned to a strange straw-like consistency. So it's now kind of like spiky and doesn't move at all. So there's that. Yeah, basically, this is going to get harder and harder to actually somehow emote. Reginald, when you wake up, what has happened to you is that your features, facial features, are again frozen in place. And your clothes are stiff and wooden, gives you that +1 bonus to armor. Let's not forget about that. And your joints have seized up, reducing your agility by 2. Clearly, Reginald has also been affected by this curse.
Can agility go below 0?
Minimum of 0. So no.
Then I came out of this ahead.
Reducing your agility by 2. What did you start with on agility?
I have 1 agility.
So you're at 0.
Yes.
Okay. Well, yes. Ahead in the sense that it could be worse. That's true. A -1 agility, I assume, means you just punch yourself in the face every time you walk or something like that. That
Just
would be,
constantly falls over.
yeah,
Douche,
just like
douche,
constantly,
douche.
just like yeah.
Just like every fight.
So, and Prish kind of notices this, and Prish sort of shakes his head and says, that's bad. You're not going to have much time to wait around here.
All right, let's go then.
Advise
I am-
someone else taking the coin.
Can I have it back? I want to do some etchings of it in my sketchbook to take back to the city.
Done enough.
Oh, come on. I mean, what more harm can I do? I'm not going to throw it a lump, all right?
I don't want to find out.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Oh man, I just have this image of Lump and Regina watching as these two frozen-faced people, Weddle with spiky hair, are just like, "What do you need? I'll tell you what I mean." Oh man,
I am. Lump is cradling Weddle at the moment because he's very, very concerned.
Seems reasonable. What does the party do? Do you want to try to risk arrest, or do you want to head on to the temple?
Well, considering I have 0 agility and maybe prone to actually falling over, we need a short rest at the very least.
I'm fine.
I'm completely uninjured considering what I did.
As well.
The two of you are just
Worst
floating
part
around.
The worst part is I can't even ask someone to try and first aid me, given how the coin seems to be affecting people. Because
yeah.
I didn't touch the coin directly.
It's true, you did not.
I cannot first aid people, so this is awesome.
I can first aid people.
Yeah, and a short rest is only, I should say that a short rest is about 15 minutes, so it's not, hours and hours. So maybe,
I'm definitely against that plan as a person who's already at stage 2, and it's only been 10 minutes. So I'm against the whole sitting around turning into a wooden doll plan. I'd rather turning into a wooden doll while moving closer to the temple.
I'm just opposed to having to make death checks next time Regina makes acorn drop on someone's head.
Huh. I get that. I am in favor of the short rest because Reginald is not looking good, and it's also not his usual not looking good thing. And I mean, like I said, Bruce might just get more transportable, so.
Looks like you might be the tiebreaker on this, Mike, as to whether Weddle wants to not rest. Regina and Reginald are in favor of resting. What say you, Lump?
It's all right. Weddle looks up at Lump, and he has a moment, and he's like, "It'll be all right, as long as my friend is carrying me."
And at that moment, I physically, because I've had my hand kind of underneath Weddle at this point, physically pick Weddle up and carry them over to somewhere where they can lean. I'm just like, shh, it's okay, it'd be okay, get rest. And there's a tapping of his massive hand on your chest, which kind of feels a little bit like, you've just had someone slam a wooden log into your sternum. But yeah, it's a definite sort of, he thinks you need to rest because that will make it better.
Okay, so it looks like a rest is it. Now, let me remind everybody that during a rest, you could do a few things. You can do first aid, which we talked about before. You can refit armor. So those of you who took damage to your armor can try to fix that armor or refit it, not repair it, but refit it. You can attempt to recover life. So during a short rest, a character can take a recover action. And recover is something you can also try to do in combat, which means you can make a fortitude test, and you can take a number of recover actions each day equal to your resolve. So you see what your resolve score is. That's the number of times you can attempt to recover life. You can attempt to recover spell points as well. So that's what you got. You can do first aid on someone else. You can refit armor, try to recover life, try to recover spell points.
Quick question. Is anybody visibly bleeding?
If a ghoul could bleed.
So I'm going to assume
I think I'm oozing.
Reginald probably has the most open wounds, correct?
That's fair to say.
Lump will attempt once again to stitch up the ghoul.
Okay.
Just give me a varnish, it'll be all right.
So what I need from you is a healing
Yep.
test, please.
Yeah.
Do
So
you
I have
that
heal,
skill?
first aid. I do, and I have focus in first aid.
Okay. So that means 3d6 plus aspect, which is insight, plus 2.
Insight.
It's true. I
Okay,
love. I
awesome.
forgot the image of Lump as just someone who pounds someone back together. All right, here, heal.
You realize. Well, we'll see how successful this test is actually. Otherwise, it could just be a case of he's just trying to basically smush Reginald
It's like the
back
most
together.
brutal Swedish massage of all time. It's like,
19
Wow.
and a double 5.
dang. That is
So,
absolutely a success.
You
It's a
have
great
never
success.
seen a creature this large with these large fingers move this deftly before. There is a surgical precision to this where he's just like just sewing up some of your wounds.
Very impressive. Now I have a question. Whether let's see. Do you have a wound, Reginald? I don't think so, right? You just have life loss.
No, just life loss.
So that means I would like Lump to roll 2d6. That's the amount of life that you will have restored, Reginald.
Have 8 points of
Wow.
life back.
Check you
I'll
out.
take it.
See,
So
Pyron,
there's
that's
a
how you
gentle-
avoid not rolling ones. Just do that.
Yeah, just do that.
I'm
just
very impressed, and I'll take note.
just roll not ones, and you'll be okay. Yeah. So there's a sort of tap on his shoulder, and Lump says, "Better now, made mends." And he sort of wanders off to Weddle.
I feel better.
Reginald, one point I should make, by the way, which is that you can use your wand to try to restore part of your life for the Peddler's Cloak. I'm just reminding you, if you want to do that, you could.
Could I do that and still take my rest
Yes.
action as well?
Yes,
yeah.
that's
in
not an
that
action,
case,
'cause it's
yes.
just-
Yeah, I'll restore my 2 temporary HPs then.
Okay,
And
you see the
mark down
wand
as-
glow.
Yeah, I'll just mark down used once, just so I know how many times I've used it.
Yep, keeping track of it
Because
as well on my side.
It will break an unknown amount of time to me.
All right, so now we have Regina, Reginald, and Hweddle. Reginald, you could still try to recover life on top of that, or you could try to, whatever else you want to do.
I don't even know if it's worth refitting my armor, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's not really been a big help to me.
How many slashes does it have as opposed to X's?
Just the one after that fight.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd waste it on just one.
Yeah, well, I'd get 2 points of armor back for refitting it, and that'd give me 3 with the one from the wood. But
Well,
that's
I don't know.
that's one hit.
Yeah.
How I've been getting.
Stalio says you don't sound better. I'm better. Like, really?
Well, I'll just take a life restore, so it'll be a 1d6.
Okay, well, you gotta do it first though. You don't automatically succeed.
Oh,
To
you
get
do on a
recovery-
rest.
Not on a short rest. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. It's automatically a great success. I'm totally wrong. You're right.
Sorry.
My bad. Great success. Sorry. That's right. Recovering life means you automatically do it as opposed to combat. Yes. So 1d6. 4. Okay.
Yep, so
That's not
13.
bad. How many resolve do you have, by the way, Reginald? So
6.
Oh, so you could do that a bunch of times, although not
Yep.
in the same rest. Okay, cool. So 13. Oh, you're fine. You're hale and hearty and cursed. I mean, that's should be fine. All right, that leaves us
Different
with
curse.
Regina and Hweddle. You still have your actions which remain.
Can I take the time to maybe guard the camp and scout, or flying around like a meerkat with wings, whoop, whoop, and just checking if everything's all right, nobody's attacking us, no crocs coming out of the water, and nothing like that.
You could do that if you wish, although that's not going to have any effect on things like refitting your armor or anything like that, Regina. I don't
I'm
know if
fine.
You're totally fine.
I'm fine. I'm just totally useless. That's all.
No, you could. That's not true because you could first aid. Remember, Hweddle.
No, I can't. I don't have any skills. I'm gonna break it. He's not gonna have hair after it because I'm setting him on fire or something.
Yeah, I think first aid is one of those skills you have to have, otherwise
you
you,
don't
can't
have
use it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Well, then it's time to flit about. And you were able to flit about. Maybe you go down to the river and look at the pieces of your handiwork and Lump's handiwork washing up on shore. Some
Is it
pieces
washing
of green
up?
scale. Yeah, they're junky.
Okay, I want to
pieces
collect a few of the
meat.
scales.
Yeah, they are they have been destroyed. This is apparently. I mean, you can pick them up, but they're totally broken. You think Lump probably did this.
All the scales. There are no scales, pretty scales for me.
There are little bits of scale. but
Lump
they're
is
not a full
massive.
scale.
Okay, he will have
I
turned
don't. I,
that
I want
crocodile
like
into
full
paste.
scales. I want. I have plans.
If you glue together the pieces, you might come
No.
up with one full scale.
No.
Did we mention that he absolutely literally like
but we killed three.
annihilated, quite literally annihilated a
But we
crocodile?
killed 3. I thought maybe
Those
a
two
few
were got
scales.
no, but those two did not. Those two just drifted away down the river. The only pieces seem
This
to be
one.
coming up from the obliterated one.
From the paste.
Yeah. from
Okay,
the base
in
of
that
the river.
case, I'll just guard and see if there are, I don't know, giants approaching or whatever danger is coming up. I don't know.
There is
I
not
just-
that, but I will tell you, because you're at the edge of the camp, just like right where you're resting, just on the dock, that the Blessed Storm Dancer, which is currently at a simple wooden pier, the water is calm and gentle as the great temple rises up to greet you, and there are pillars surrounding its golden dome and a single spire pointing up into the sky above. Beyond the temple lies a rugged expanse of dry and treacherous desert. So you're the first one to catch sight of this rather ominous-looking thing. So otherwise, there doesn't seem to be anything attacking. And so that would lead us to Hweddle, who can now decide what Hweddle would like to do. I don't know whether you want to work on armor or maybe recover some life. I don't know what you're looking to do.
Hweddle doesn't think in those kind of terms.
Okay.
He's not sure. Is he going to turn into a wooden doll? Is Reginald going to turn into a wooden doll? Are one or both of us going to die here today? It could be his last chance to play his Kruth. So, while his fingers slowly turning to wood, he just wants to have one last song, before he turns into a wooden doll forever.
I see. Okay. What is the song? Do you have the song? Like, what is the song?
Yeah. He's got a song prepared.
Okay, wait, let me stop the music. Okay. Right. Proceed.
Right. This one goes out to my friend, the ghoul, Reginald. It's called Joyful Grim Necropolis. Let me just set up the right scene here with my Kruth. How does it go? Excellent. Cool. Just up the road from Villa Dock, there is a grim necropolis. It's full of gloomy ghouls. It's full of gloomy ghouls. Ha 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 ha. It's full of gloomy ghouls. And if you want to visit there, do as the great young sweeper says. Bring gifts of gold or flesh. Bring gifts of gold or flesh. Bring gifts of gold or flesh. Protected by the caretakers, Sepulchre is a peaceful place, except if you were undead. Except if you were undead. Ha 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 ha. You can't leave once you were dead. I thought that was a nice, foolish song.
Very nice. Very nice. That was very joyful. I totally agree. I was saying, imagine Pinocchio dancing to this, like pretty much as you just like, someday I'll be a real boy. Very nice. Well, good stuff. So yes, this pleasant music playing. Some of the sailors watch and enjoy very much the experience of watching this take place and kind of, comment to each other and joke a little bit. Although you notice that the mood is somewhat dampened anyway, not just because of the harrowing ride across the river, but also because of the feeling of sort of curse, let us say, that fulfills all of you. But that said, it's fair to say that at the end of this, people seem to feel a little bit more upbeat than they might have done before. So keeping that in mind, I'm just writing a note to myself.
Is it how much longer before the other two make their checks?
No, it's about how far you'll go down the. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I just need to make sure I reminded myself about something that song put me in mind of. Okay, so go down there. Then go like this, so I can get that back up to the number I needed to. Right, lovely. Okay, great. So that as that song continues to go along and everyone enjoys this moment, Once the rest is completed for the rest of you, it's time to head up then to the temple, assuming you folks are ready to go. You can actually see the stone steps, the bottom of the stone steps leading to the temple at the end of the pier and a little bit past it, maybe, from where you are, maybe 2-3 minutes possibly to walk there if you're ready to do that.
Yeah. I assume Weddle can still walk at this point.
Yes, rather stiffly.
Yeah. I will assist Weddle in walking towards the temple.
Okay. Everyone else, same, Reginald and Regina?
Yeah.
Okay. It is a short walk from the pier to these stone steps of the temple, and a gray-robed figure awaits you. And in fact, I have a picture for this. I'm going to show you exactly what
Smells
this looks like
bad magic.
Yeah, it's an impressive-looking sight. And it looks something like... There's that. And I was like, what the heck? That's because I had it in the wrong folder. That's why I couldn't find my talisman thing. Okay, here we go. Okay. For some reason, I am having difficulty tracking down this image that I literally went out of my way to make sure it would look awesome, and it was going to be great, and I was very excited about it. Okay, let's see. There we go. Here we are. So there it is on Roll20. On stream, visible, and there's a gray-robed figure awaiting you. There's the slightest smile of welcome on the figure's face, but they hold up a hand, gesturing for you to wait a moment before entering. There is aid and enlightenment for those who travel to this place, they say. Tell me, which is it that you seek? I am Treya, an acolyte of this temple.
Hi, Treya.
Hello.
I look back to Reginald. Shall we tell them you're cursed, or is this a bad thing and they won't let us inside?
We were told to come here to lift the curse on the tavern.
We were told to
Friends.
come here and lift the curse on the tavern, which we did not bring, but we brought the cursed people in his backpack. I point towards Huddle.
The people that are cursed are in his backpack.
Yes.
Lump takes one of the dolls out of his backpack and just sort of kind of gingerly hands it towards the robed figure.
And the robed figure doesn't actually take it, just sort of looks down at it and then says, "Was there something?" And then looks keenly at you, at the four of you, and says, especially at Weddle, and says, "You seem to have had something done to you as well."
What gives you that impression?
It might have been the hair.
This happened to friends. Need cure.
Did they touch anything?
Oh, I touched all sorts, mate.
Touched lots.
Touch anything before this happened, I mean. Something specific. Is there something
think-
there?
They were cursed by this. And he fumbles in his wooden clothing, which I assume his haversack just sort of creaks open like a treasure chest at this point.
Absolutely. I had this image of you actually fumbling it and accidentally hitting everyone in your party. Whoops!
Ding, 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 ding.
Pinball, curse. No.
Look what happened by accident.
And she looks and she kind of looks, her expression, her kind of eyes narrow a bit. And she says, one moment. And then she looks up. She says, it's like speaking something. And you think you see a slight shimmer around her, although it may just be a trick of the light. And then she holds out her hand for the coin.
I hand it over with the cloth between, even though we know it really doesn't do any good. But
Right.
I'll hand it over. Go. Be careful. I did not handle it with bare skin, and apparently I'm cursed.
And so
Gwendol licked it.
she takes it and she looks up at it and kind of looks through it. And she says, and for a moment when you say, and Weddle licked it, she kind of like, her expression like flickers down to Weddle for a minute and then she goes back. And she says, I do not think it would eventually matter if you touched it with bare skin. Whoever carries this will eventually be affected by its magic. This seems to be a talisman of the great wizard. Not all of his creations were benevolent, as you have clearly discovered. We can help you destroy this curse. However, you must prove yourself worthy of our gifts first. We normally offer 2 choices: give one willing life into our fold, or sacrifice all your sweat and labor for 1 week's time. Recent circumstances, though, have presented us with a third option. You may choose to help us with a special problem, and instead guard our mausoleum from expected raiders this very night. So, you are given a choice, party. The temple, and if you've ever played the game Talisman, you will know that this is true there too. The temple will help you, but not for free. You must provide them a service. Either meaning giving them a willing follower, and Unwin the stable boy, to be clear, is not willing. So there's either that, to become an acolyte, toil in menial labor like cleaning, hauling, and general repair work for a full week, or guard the temple's mausoleum for 1 night against a group of raiders. And you can feel free to ask questions about, any or all of that if you wish of Treya.
I volunteer as tribute.
How long does it? And does one have-
Menial labor.
Do we have a week before this curse progresses beyond hope?
Reginald, yeah, I go through a week of menial labor for however long it takes of menial labor before I turn into wooden doll, and then I nominate Lump to do my share of the menial labor for the rest of the week.
Lump just looks up at the road figure. You fix friends. I work week.
Can I become a willing acolyte and then stop being an acolyte again? I would willingly do that.
So
Like
We're trying
several
to find
times.
loopholes.
Treya kind of looks to you and says, if you wish to become an acolyte, you must have the deepest commitment. We will train you in the secrets and ways of our order, and you will be content in your lifetime of service.
What? You did that?
Smells like bad magic. Don't.
Like-
I am content here. The temple is a place of wondrous magic and great knowledge, and I am taken care of as we take care of those under our charge. It would be a life of comfort and some security, and you would have the feeling of goodness that comes from helping people who come to the temple seeking aid, as you have yourself. Of course, you would have to give up your life adventuring and spend the rest of your life in our service.
I would have the good feeling for helping people.
Absolutely. I have had that feeling myself. And you would maintain this feeling for your entire life, which again is the term of your service.
I was helping people at the tavern, and I'm not feeling too good.
Do you feel good about helping us right now?
I do. I know that one wishes one could simply give this away, but the temple can only be maintained with the support of others. The gods to whom we worship must believe that there is worthiness from the people that they help. And so, whether you are worthy, whether you are great or small, all can be helped by the temple if they are willing to do the work that is needed.
I don't know why you needed to mention small. But my question is, like, if we now do the manual labor for a week, then your mausoleum will get ransacked tonight?
Our hope is that if you do this menial labor, that we will be able to do what is necessary in bringing the rest of our acolytes to protect ourselves. There are some soldiers around that we have asked for assistance as well, but these bandits have become an increasing problem. Nonetheless, we, if you are doing this menial labor, would be free to have more acolytes taken towards protecting the mausoleum. So you would be helping us regardless.
Reginald attempts to sort of just nudge Regina, but because of his stiffness, it might be more of a full-on arm barge. Just like pop, just trying to get her attention.
She accidentally squeals, "Attack by a tree again!"
Deploy the acorns.
I stare at Reginald. Yes.
Remember that mess the last time that mausoleum in my graveyard got raided?
You want me to defend the mausoleum?
I think we should.
But you and Huedel are not really in a state to fight?
We might be worse in a week.
But they don't expect you to fight a mausoleum in a week.
So, Lump's just going to go over to the road figure and sort of not slam, but kind of forcefully slam his hand down on the step, on one of the stone steps, and say, "Fix friends now. Lump work. Lump good worker."
And Treya looks down at your large hand, having, maybe knocked a couple of fragments of rock away from the step, and says, "Your dedication to your friends is admirable, but this is a decision that all 4 of you must make together. If all 4 of you will do this week of work, then we will help your friends, and indeed we will help you break the curse. Or if you choose to defend the mausoleum and succeed, that too will allow us to break the curse, not just on your friends, but on those back at the tavern, or indeed if you give up a willing follower to our service. In any of these cases, we will help not only your friends, but break the curse entirely. But as I say, there is always a price to be paid."
Break curse first, then work.
And the Treya shakes her head solemnly and says, "Unfortunately, that is not how it works, and it will take time in any case for the curse to be broken. While you are here, we can study what is best. This is the great wizard's doing, and his work is not easily undone."
So we can either defend the mausoleum, just 2 of us,
4 of you.
or Lump has to work for a week.
4 of you will have to work for a week.
I don't think 4 of us will work for a week. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I poked Weddle now, he's gonna fall over.
Friends need help now.
Treya says, "We will do what we can to stabilize your friends while they are in our service here, but I cannot give you what you desire until after your service is complete."
I stare at Reginald and Huedel.
So what I'm hearing is that you'll make sure the curse doesn't get any worse than it currently is while we're here. And then we can do whatever, defend or do the work. And we won't turn into full-on wooden dolls like that lot. And then at the end, when we've done it, it'll help us not turn into dolls ever.
And the robed figure nods and says, "Yes, though I must warn you that there is the possibility the curse will advance faster than we can break it. However, even in that event, I am confident we can reverse its effects when all is said and done."
Well, I'm just worried that if we say, we'll do terribly worried, you see, that if I say, I'll do a work for a week, but I'm actually only capable of working for 4 days, does that mean you're not going to break my curse at the end of the 7 days because I was a wooden doll and I couldn't do the last 3 days? It's not my fault. I get turned into a wooden doll.
And she inclines her head and she says, "It is a just question. If you have put your best effort in, then, even if you do have the curse complete its final effects, and you do so before the term of your service has ended, this would be accepted by the temple as proof of your worthiness, and it would allow the rest of your companions to continue until their work is complete. So no, this would not be lost to you if you made an effort."
All right. I'm going to make a really good effort to sweep some holes and stuff. That's my vote.
Okay, Lump turns around away from Treya and looks at the rest of the party. He looks at Regina first and says, No join temple, please. They like great or small. You both great and small. You help people out in world every day. No join bad magic people.
I will not join the temple. They're weird.
Good. And he turns to Reginald and Weddle and says, "You work as you can. I'll help. I take your chores too."
I can't ignore that mausoleum. The spirits might not have crossed over.
You'll just die again.
I have practice.
They defend their own place. Could be bad people, could be good people. Could be rubbish site.
Don't call mausoleums rubbish.
Could be anything.
Mausoleums
mausoleum.
store the dead.
Yeah, we don't want to store you there. They said they're gonna defend it.
I'm
We'll
just
make
thinking back
sure.
to my graveyard.
We're gonna defend that when we're back, okay?
Why
It
not
already had
you?
been stolen.
Why not you help them? Have a look at mausoleum. Tell them weakness. Tell them strength. Then you work with us.
It's a mausoleum, not a castle.
Lump just shrugs. Like he doesn't know what you
You
mean.
could maybe check on the mausoleum like after the fight, like, hey, all spirits in good spirit or something, whatever.
Lump puts his hand on Reginald's shoulder. What does heart say?
Hart says protect mausoleum, but I'd have to go with what everybody else wants. We may not have a week, and if we haven't, the folk from the tavern may have even less.
Just a quick table section. Did you say that the mausoleum was tonight?
Mausoleum would be tonight, yes. The menial labor would be a week, but would be theoretically menial as opposed to,
Yeah. Okay.
And Stalio, selling it to land developers moving to Florida is not really an option. And to be perfectly honest, I'd suggest not moving to Florida right now. You might want to move away from Florida. Florida is not an investment property at the moment. But in any case, yes. So you'd have mausoleum tonight or menial labor over next week.
Lump's hand on Reginald's shoulder. I stand with you. That's what heart wants. We defend Tomb.
Remember the swamps. That was from the spirits not being respected.
There's a slightly frightened and pained look on Lump's forehead. Like, bad place. Puts his sort of hands on his straps on his armor, straightens up a little bit, and looks over to Weddle and Reginald. You two stay safe in back of Tomb. And he looks over at Regina. You and I handle anything that attacks. We both small and mighty.
Okay.
Right, okay, if we're gonna do this, right, we're being judged on how much of our effort and our sweat and our heart we're putting into the task. Whichever we choose, we gotta all do it with all the best of our efforts. So if it means that much to our dear friend Reginald to protect this mausoleum, this temple, whatever it is, then that's what we're going to do. And we're all going to do our best. And I ain't staying in the back of any temple. I'll be out in the front, just like Reginald will, doing our bit. So if that's what we're going to do, then that's what we're going to do.
But I want to be in the front.
All right, you could be in the front then. And then Lump, and then Reginald, and then Socks, and then me. Fifth.
I'll be at the back of the front.
Just stay behind me, Weds. I owe Weds lots. Stay behind me.
All right, if you insist. All right, we turn to Shreya. We'll help to protect the mausoleum. Was it the mausoleum?
Mausoleum was what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll protect that tonight from the raiders.
And she nods and she says, very well. Then, unless you have an objection, I think it would be best if this be kept away from your party until, and she's holding up the coin, until we have completed what must be done. It does not guarantee that the curse will not progress on those already affected, but it will keep the others of you from being affected by it.
Can we leave the other wooden dolls here?
And she nods and she says, yes, they will be looked after. In fact, we will have our acolytes do what they can to immediately start looking into what this may mean and how we might break this curse.
Can you do me one more favor as well while you've got the coin?
She
Can you
nods.
put a piece of paper over the top and do some little etchings? Get the patterns on both sides on a bit of paper for me. I want to take it back to the Dwarven scholars back in the city after this.
And she nods. She says, we can do this, but even if the dwarves were involved, it is the great wizard who infused it with his magic. Do you wish the dwarves to be known for having produced this cursed item?
All right, so the big magic man can make the cursed item, and everyone still thinks that he's the best thing since bread. But if the dwarves are the one who made the cursed coin, then suddenly it's a big bad thing. But if it's the wizard that made the cursed talisman coin, then it's all great, and isn't he the best? Well, that's racism, that is.
She nods. She says, the unfairness of history. But if you have spent any time in our land and in the realm, you will know that propaganda is written by the winners, and the winner of this realm has always been the great wizard.
I see you're a very wise person who sees the truth of things.
And she nods. And she says, very well, then when you are prepared, I will lead you. The day is already beginning to fade. And indeed, it is early afternoon now, so it's starting, you still have a few hours, but it's starting to kind of go. The sun is starting to move down in the other direction into the west. And she says, I will lead you to the mausoleum when you are prepared.
Do we have time for another short rest?
And she sort of considers and then says, probably you do. And the GM also says, probably you do. And has,
Don't
let's
echo.
say, one more. I'd say you have time for one more, yes, before she would take you.
I will try and pull my wood together.
Okay. Do we have a recover
Yeah.
action in your future?
Yes. Since I am a recovery action machine with my resolve.
Yes, you are.
Reginald currently in recovery. Okay.
Oh, God.
Oops, sorry. I didn't see that. It was Treya was blocking the way. Hold on.
It was a 1, but it's better. Hey, it's one more than I had.
Hey, one more, yeah.
Okay. How about okay, so Reginald, you're at 14 now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hweddle, how about you? Are you going to attempt to recover life now, or having played your music?
Yeah. There's no. I'd like life points now, other than songs.
So you can just roll 1d6 too, okay?
Excellent.
All right.
I'm
so
sure that'll come in very handy.
15 out of 30. That leaves us with Lump and Regina. Lump, of course, does have healing, and Regina, I guess we're in the same boat that we were before, which is Regina doesn't have a whole lot of other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just wondering who, can I ask specific numbers of health? Like how
relative approximate. I mean, like you, as a character, you would know if someone is, like Weddle still looks awfully hurt. I mean, so that's noticeable, I would say. And Reginald's hurt, but not as badly.
Yeah, Reginald sort of.
Oh, me legs. Oh, gosh, I got a terrible pain in my legs, I have.
My hair.
Sorry, my cat's gone
hurt has
feral in the
taken
corner.
root.
Hurt has taken root. Yeah, my cat's gone crazy in the corner of this room. I'm sorry, you might hear some proper growling in a minute. So I wanted to perform first aid, but I also wanted to ask Treya a question. But I can ask a question.
You could ask Treya before we do this, and then you can do first aid.
Okay, cool. I asked Treya who attacks Mausoleum.
And she...
Oh, actually, he'd probably say something like, "Who is enemy here?"
We laid our beloved Father Gregor to rest this morning. He was a well-known leader of our order, and he has been buried with many of his personal riches and jewels. That hoard has become a tempting target for raiders who roam the nearby wastelands. Word of Gregor's passing has spread over the last few days, and we have now intelligence that these raiders will attack this very night. They are led, it is said, by a dark priestess, and she will want the power our priest once held. But it should be easy enough for brave adventurers like you to defeat them, yes?
No.
Are any of them crocodiles?
They are known as the Crocodile Rock Gang. And
Oh no. Lum just looks at Treya and goes, numbers?
Unclear. The more than a handful, not a horde or an army, certainly, but a group of experienced fighters anyway.
And finally, he motions to the rest and he says, "Just us or your guards too?" And you realise, just before you answer this, the rest of the party probably realise there's a lot of very specific warfare-based questions that Lumper's coming out with that you've never heard him talk about before. So that's a thing. So he asks that to Treya.
We will try to provide what we can, but it must be said that given the need for labor and the fact that others have been sorely pressed due to many coming to ask for our aid, it means that we may be able to send you very little. I at the least will accompany you and bring you to the place, but I cannot promise that there will be many to join you. As I say, our work and labor has limited our ability to respond to this.
Okay. Go fix friend now. He goes over to Weddle and performs the first aid.
Okay.
Hey, Treya, do you sell stuff?
Do we sell stuff?
Yes, do you sell stuff?
Well, we do sell some robes and things of that nature for the temple. They are things that are used by those who do not wish to become acolytes, but who wish to tend to their people. But other than that, we do not have items or things of that to sell. We, for the most part, try to avoid those things, although there are exceptions. Our priests, for example, are allowed to gain wealth and riches, though this wealth and riches must be used extensively for the healing and the charitable support of the poor.
You know, out there, on the other side of the river, there are also religious people, and some of them live in things like monasteries, and they do beer and wine, and you should totally look into that.
And she nods. She says, I have heard that jam is another possibility that monasteries can get into. I will consider this well. Thank you, Regina. Perhaps
you really,
we have
really should.
some opportunities.
Yes.
She nods. You hear someone you see someone furiously taking notes behind her. Okay. So, yeah, beer jam. Okay, Lump, let's have you do your thing, first aid wise.
Wabam! 15.
Okay.
And then double, I suppose. Does that matter on this test? Yes, that matters on this test.
So double that does. It's a great success, which means the target is going to heal 2d6 life or 1d6 life and 1 wound, but I don't think Queddle had a wound, so I think we're just, other than your curse, but that's not a wound. So then 2d6 life.
That'd be fantastic.
That'd be like, haha,
Oh,
we solved the
fixed it.
problem. Don't actually care about Mausoleum.
Mended.
Reginald's like, wait, what?
Have 10 life points.
10 points back. There you go. Now, see.
Again,
hale
very
and
deft. Very deft. Has like stitching up, applying some salve, and giving Weds a shoulder rub and all this sort of thing.
very impressive.
Thanks, Lump.
Okay.
Made men's better now.
Okay. So, Weddle has now. Has Weddle done the recovery yet, or no? Do Weddle take the?
Yeah, I did it and got 2 life points
That's
back.
right, got the
which
2
brought
back,
me
that's
to
right.
15. Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so you're sitting at 25 right now. Okay. Let's see. Regina was just sort of wandering around doing whatever. And Reginald got a little more life because of the recover action. Okay. So, in that case, if the party is ready, then we will prepare and have you depart off to the mausoleum. And this is a good spot, actually, for... I need to fire the music back up. I had it off because we're listening to the musical stylings of Weddle, played by undeveloped Bruce. Let me put that back on. Let's get rid of the rain here. Okay. And chat's a good place to reset since we've reached 6 o'clock. You are watching episode 346 of Pen and Pixels. I am your host, Arvin Elleron, the show that focuses on story and narrative here Tuesdays on GOGCom's Twitch channel. And I am joined, as I am frequently joined, by the amazing crew today of the Talisman Adventures group. So we have Pyron Jade, we have Darksaber2K, we have Peripheral Mike, and Undeveloped Bruce joining you for the awesomeness known as Talisman Adventures, sponsored by Pegasus Spiele. We are playing The Shifty Lad and the Curse of the Servant's Coin. And if you like what you see in here, we hope you will follow. We hope you will sub to the channel. We hope you will click on to all of our individual channels / various things. And if we stream on Twitch, sub to us there. And if we don't, follow us on all our various adventures and things like that. And thank you all for being here. Okay. So, having removed the coin from you and carefully moved the dolls out of the way, Treya guides you a short way through the desert to a stone structure which is partially buried by the sand. And in fact, I think I have a picture for this too. Bear with me for 1 second. No, y'all. Actually, this is perfect music for this, as you're like wandering through the desert. Oh, thank you, Loveless. Ain't no rundown like an arbor.
Wait, we're wandering through the desert? I didn't bring a water flask.
You're in trouble. Instantaneously lose 35 life now. Okay.
Talisman jokes.
It's what's so funny about this is that it's like these are all Easter eggs, right? Because like you're just sort of like, yep, I remember that. Yep, that happens too. Like.
And we're just in chat cracking jokes that only people who have played or seen us play the Talisman board game
Exactly.
understand.
Everyone else is like, yeah, that's great. And you're like, isn't it? And they're like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Okay. So there's that. And let's save that here as...
Still waiting for a magic carpet to turn up because it's going to be interesting to see if Pyron can separate Regina from the events.
True facts.
I thought about that already a lot. Like, how could I justify the flying Regina wanting a flying carpet? It's a difficult topic. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, and when you get back, you'll be able to see this picture. chat, that you can look at for yourself as you see the indignant desert birds, to quote a certain poem, swirling, turning in the widening gyre over this sign and the skull that you see by it. Deserts are not known for their food and drink options. No, that is very true, and we will talk about that in more detail in just a moment. Okay, so let's see. I will say, chat, that just while we're waiting for Pyron to come back, I should note that while you were all deciding which of the tasks you wanted to do, there were some interesting discussions from chat about that, which was, let's see, besides Stalio saying descend to land developers and move to Florida, Wolf Soul said defend the crypt because time is of the essence. Regina, of course, wanted to fight, but also preferred Reginald to not fight. So there were some suggestions that perhaps defending the crypt was the best way to go in the end, but I could see arguments for each of them, and they all would have been fine, including if you wanted to abandon Boots, Reginald, and just send Boots right into the temple and be like, goodbye to my ghost dog. But nope. No one would have forgiven you, I think, is really what that comes down to.
And if it'd been anything else other than a mausoleum, Reginald probably would have been very much on board for, let's just do a week's work.
Yep. Nope, it definitely is a mausoleum for sure. Okay. So, yeah, exactly.
Sorry, my apologies. I just need to step away for a couple of minutes.
That's fine, no problem.
Sorry about that. I've just, in case anybody needs to actually thump anything with Lump, I've put his stats in our green room chat.
Okay, sounds good. I'll try to redescribe when you get back, Mike.
Cool, thank you.
Okay, so here we go. Treya guides you a short way through the desert to a stone structure that is partially buried by the sand. The steps to the mausoleum have been cleared, and a pair of priests stand guard at the entrance. Treya pushes open the door and gestures inside. A short hallway leads into a central chamber with two large statues, a celestial representing the light and a fiend representing the darkness. On a bier in the center of the room, a body lies in state, covered with fresh flowers and a good many jewels. The raiders of the shifting sands, Treya says, will be after Father Gregor's treasure. Do not disturb the dead who lie in the other chambers. Simply focus your efforts on keeping those grave robbers out. I shall try to keep watch and aid as I can. Dusk is falling, so we must not tarry. It is not wise to linger in the desert after nightfall. So Treya and the other priests sort of kind of withdraw to a respectful distance. And now you have to decide what you want to do. There are multiple things that you could decide to do in preparation for this. If you want to try to wait and ambush outside the tomb, if you want to wait inside the tomb, if you have some other brilliant idea I haven't thought about, you can let me know now. You don't have a lot of time, but they have not attacked yet, so you have time to set up how you want to do this.
Can I use my disguise kit and or some robes to disguise myself as an acolyte?
Possibly, although I will warn you that your hair, and I'm not even joking, is going to make it difficult for a hood to stay over it. So if you could think of a way to get around that, I'm all on board, but I'm just letting you know.
I got a rapier.
You got a sprite?
Got a sprite and a rapier. Chop off some of that hair, it's fine. Grow back.
The hair is as strong as wood. You can't chop it off.
I'm also as strong as wood.
Yeah, who's got an axe?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely like chop away, I guess, at your hair, but just be aware that that is the case.
You want me to snap off your hair?
Sounds awful.
No, it's okay.
Snap,
Can I tip 2 flasks of oil that I have in my inventory on the floor just outside the door to the mausoleum, and we'll stay inside, and I'll throw a lantern or a match or some candle, something at it, the classic.
Okay, I thought for a minute, because Stalio had just said torch in chat, that you were going to pour it on your hair and then just light your hair on fire. I was like, and then just start doing some AC, way to hell. But no, I'm glad you didn't actually choose to do that. Yes, you can certainly do those things. That's totally fine. And if you're waiting just inside the tomb, You can, light torches inside or extinguish them as they see fit. Right now, the tomb is dimly lit. If you do light torches, you might make, whenever the raiders show up, they might be more aware of you as a consequence. So just need to be thinking a little bit about that. If you're going to light or not light this.
I just need to be able to see them to cast spells on them.
I need also be able to see them to hurt them.
Okay.
All right. Hopefully they'll be on fire when they come through the door. So
Okay, yeah, that would make it easier to see them. I admit on that.
Right, because right now inside it is inside the mausoleum. It is dimly lit, which means that there's no effect on melee. But if you try to do ranged combat, it's -2, and you have a -2 penalty to all notice tests that involve sight. But you have a +2 bonus to stealth tests. So there are benefits to being in this darkness.
I would like to fly around the temple and the mausoleum and look for like suspicious windows, maybe covered with the very nicely placed vines or anything like that.
Okay. You're able to do that, Regina. There are definitely no open windows or covered by vines inside here. In fact, there are no windows at all. There are many, many coffins and sarcophagi as you fly through here. And as you begin to fly down, Father Gregor is placed up towards the front. But as you go back, you see that the mausoleum is pretty big. You get the impression that this is where all the temple servants, acolytes, and otherwise have been laid to rest. And so, like, this thing is very large. Like, if you kept flying, you don't know. You think it might take you an hour of flying to get through all of this. So the first I mean, you can go through some rooms. It's not like you can't. It's just that it's very big, this whole place. But there's no windows you see at all.
Yeah, okay, if I get the feeling that the attack might not come from that direction, then I'll fly back. Just making sure
Seems
that
unlikely.
we know where they are come from. Reginald, a lot of people seem to die at the temple. Like, a lot. Lots.
The temple is very old.
I do find this suspicious.
Do you find Sepulchre suspicious?
What does poker have to do with it?
I'll unlock my wooden jaw just for now to say I'm saying Sepulchre, which is the ghoul necropolis city of where basically most people end up getting buried in the world.
Ghouls are not suspicious when they are. Whatever.
You had to bring logic into this.
Okay. I'll try to find a place where I can see the entrance really well and like prepare my weapons.
Okay.
So I have I've got 2 spears, I've got 2 javelins, so I'll just
Okay.
have them already sticking in front of me or something.
Okay, that sounds reasonable. Lump plus old caskets equals trebuchet. Remember that part about the don't disturb any of the dead, Stalio? Remember that part? That moment that we all enjoyed together. Okay, so let me see here. All right, so I'm just gonna pull up the little monster
I look
list.
to what Huddle is doing. Huddle, do you need any more stuff?
No, as long as people come in through this door, we're all good.
I've got yarn. We could do a thing where you put yarn and people then fall over.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. We want to put a string at ankle height, just along the door and stick it on both ends. That's a good one.
Okay.
A little trip wire.
How thin is this? Because a thread is not going to hold up if someone, a normal-sized, human, just walks over it. So, is there anything to keep in mind? Are you trying for a rope and hoping for the best, or how thick is this thin? I guess this string.
Well, it's my yarn, so I'm not
Probably
sure.
pretty thin. Yeah. I mean, you could wind it. It's sort of one of those balancing acts. You could try to like wind it back and forth so you get it a little bit thicker, but then there's the idea that it might be more visible. So you have to kind of balance out visibility versus strength, I guess.
Well, I do have Tinker. Does that help?
Maybe. You know what? I will have you make a Tinker test for me.
Okay.
And we will see how successful you are at making this thing, at balancing it. And just let's be very clear. What exactly are you attempting to do in reinforcing this thread? Like, how are you putting it together?
Well, it's not as Regina is like the smartest one, but if, like, maybe, like, actually, like, put the thread twice and then twiddle it. But how do you tell that? Like, you turn it spirally?
Right. Okay, and kind of spiral it around. Okay, yeah, make a Tinker test for me.
Like, make one thread out of 2 layers of thread or 3 layers, whatever. Is this, what is it? I've got, Tinker can be agility, brawn, inside. What would this be?
This would be agility for sure, but let me just double check on focus. Let's see if we've got...
I don't have a focus. I just need to know the underlying...
Okay, then it would be,
thinking.
then I would say it would be agility.
Okay, then I do that. So
3d6 plus agility.
3d6 plus agility. We can do this. We can do this. Nobody worry. Roll. 16.
Yes, I think you're able to do that. This means that you were able to sort of twist it together such that you put it over the front. And I assume you're putting it, now correct me if I'm wrong, is it like oil thread, right? So like first they're in oil and then they trip, or do you put the thread behind, like in front of the oil so that they trip into the oil, if you follow what I'm saying?
I have no clue. I'll just hand this problem over to Weddle.
Yeah, let's have them trip into the oil, and then there's more body oil coverage. You know, Weddle loves the body oil coverage.
Yep, you can do that. In all likelihood, Regina, you're pretty sure this is only likely to trip one of them because they're probably going to break it as they trip. But you're going to have one as opposed to, none being affected, so that's obviously good.
I don't think this will gonna hold off a lot of them, but let's see.
Okay. As you are prepared and ready, and Reginald, are you doing anything other than what we described in preparation? I know Weddle's waiting to throw the torch, and Regina's just put the thread up, but...
Yeah, Reginald doesn't really have a lot he can bring to the strategic situation. Just looking to see if there's anything that leaps out at me, but no, not really. So he's just going to find a position where you can still make out the door clearly, but further back.
Okay.
Oh, Regina also like throwing stuff. I also want a torch just in case I get a. Can I put myself like where I have my spears and a torch? So whatever I want to do, I have like. Here comes your sprite.
Yes, indeed.
You could set fire to a spear and then throw it at them. You
know how expensive those things are?
No.
You know how many I lose from them? I just think...
Yes.
You know who has the throw skill actually?
Not me.
Me. I do have it. I do because I like to throw stuff.
All right. So to clarify here, we got a tripwire across the door, and then just inside the door, we got the oil, hoping they'll fall over into it. Either or. One of you two will be in charge of setting them on fire when the oil goes. So
we make sure there's nothing flammable near the oil.
Yes, until there is, and then it sets on fire.
Yeah, let's not. If there are any like wooden caskets or stuff like that, and they start burning, we might not get out of here ever again. Like ever.
There are some
burn
wood.
down like
wood
the whole,
yes.
the whole down.
But it's fine because the whole place is incredibly dry and has no humidity, as you might expect from something in a desert. So it should be totally fine for burning. I mean, not at all. It's fine.
Burning people don't run anywhere else. It's not going to be a problem.
Just remembering the kobold cave.
Yes, indeed. That was a good moment, wasn't it? Okay.
We never had any problem with things getting set on fire in any party we ever had.
That's
That's
true.
true.
But
Storm King's Thunder, you didn't get set on fire and nearly got put out in a really embarrassing way.
it's
I
very
never
true.
burned down a village or anything.
Or slaves.
So, as you're all sort of reminiscing, so to speak, you can see or hear really the sound of slow and steady steps approaching. And as you kind of look out, you can see that there are people sort of silhouetted in the rising moon. And I'm going to show you a picture of one of these, in fact, who is leading them. There are 4 of these people, led by a 5th, who looks a little bit like this. Give me just one second here. Okay. And you will see this coming up on the stream as well. Okay. There we go. You see this veiled figure with purple pants and a blue sort of short cape and a sash, walking along with some stones set in a circlet around her head. And she comes forward slowly, and behind her 4 others. And she is making her way up to the area, at which point she bends down and she seems to be herself getting ready, like sort of looking into the entrance, and some of the others are looking as well. Then she kind of looks back at the others and silently jerks her head, and the other 4 go in front of her, and one of them steps forward. They step forward and they are going to trip, as was hoped for, over your makeshift tripwire. They trip and they fall and land flat on their face in this oil. And one of them is like, "Oh, what is this?" And she says, "It's a trap. All of you, it's a trap." And they all draw weapons. So I will give you an opportunity, Hweddle, to make a test before the combat even begins, to toss this torch sort of safely. Otherwise, you're going to have to do it during combat. Or, well, whoever's tossing the torch, I should say. Who's setting it on fire? Is there one of you that's setting it on fire?
I think it was Regina because she has the throw skill.
Okay.
I think was decided.
So then,
I throw the
Regina,
torch.
I'm going to have you make a throw test then to do this. Otherwise, it has to be done in combat. But
Awesome. Throw is agility. I can do this. Ha! Roll! 17 with 2 doubles.
with 2 doubles, yes, I would say that that's a great success, and it goes up. And I'm going to have you roll. Let's make this 1d6, please. We're going to add 3 to this. That's going to be the fire damage taken by this
1d6
bandit, this
plus 3.
raider.
Come on, damage roll, please. Whoa! 8 damage.
8 damage. That's what I like to see. All right, bear with me for 1 second while I make sure I get all the things here. Okay, so that's going to ignore armor as well. All right.
I fist pumped the air.
And burning. So he is burning, and for a moment you're like, there's that moment in Return of the King where the film where Pippin throws, which does not, by the way, happen in the book. It's not how it goes down, but anyway, it leads to a great scene in the film, so I'm not going to complain. Anyway, he tosses it down, the flames go up, and he's like, and he's like, and he starts figuring out how to get out of the thing. So the good news is that the whole hallway now, pretty much, it's not an inferno, but like at least the halfway up the hall is in fact on fire. That's the good news. The not as good news is that coming into the room where you are is this stinging, choking smoke, which is entering the non-ventilated, non-windowed, opened rooms. We will talk about the significance of this theoretically in a moment, but before we do that, we're going to fire up a little bit of combat music, chat. Thank you to Willow in the Light, and the time has come for this. Let's see. Let's go with that. Right. Okay, so we've got those, and then we've got the... We've got this. That's going to be... Okay. Right. Okay. However, the other good news about doing this, like I said, later on is when you'll pay for the wages of this, this plan. But the opening portion of the plan is a pretty awesome plan because it means you're going to have the opportunity perhaps to surprise your enemies because they certainly do seem surprised. So let us see what happens when that occurs. So let's see. I'm going to say that the enemies are not completely surprised, but partially surprised. So what that means is that for this first round only, each of you that attacks against one of the enemies, so basically you've got the flaming guy, you've got the 3 non-flaming bandit raider types, and then you've got this dark priestess. Any of those for this first round that you attack, you'll get a +2 bonus to attack them. But that's only this round, and then the surprise is going to go out of the way. So you'll just have to keep that in mind. Now, with that said, I want to know what order everybody would like to go into. What order would people like? And remember, there are flames and now smoke, which is not gathered enough to impede you yet, but it may soonish, but not so far. So what would the party like to do in terms of order?
I
I
would.
have a question.
Sure.
Yeah, me too. You go first.
The other people who didn't come inside, are they gathered directly outside of the door, or have they dispersed?
They have not dispersed. They are right outside the door at the moment. They might try to disperse, but like after a round. But they at the moment are like, what? As this happens.
The person who is burning is like, do we still get like a mallows to try to hit them? I think that might
sure.
be really visible.
Oh yeah. No, they are a little occupied with the fact that they're burning. So yes, you'll still get a +2 to hit them.
I mean, because of darkness, I think like they should be.
If you melee them, no. If you're ranged, yes, because compensating for the darkness is the smoke and flame that is in the way between you and them.
Okay.
You're gonna say, Bruce, what's up?
Yeah, I'd quite like to go first.
Okay.
I wanna just mess around with these people a bit more.
All right. We've got Lump, Regina, and Reginald. Who wants to go in?
I think I'm going to go last.
Okay. Reginald go last. Regina, Lump, how do you want to organize when you go and when Lump goes?
Then I would say Hweddle, me, Lump, Reginald.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, God Emperor Frigo, for the follow. Okay. I'm sorry. Say that again, Regina. I didn't hear that. Say that again. I beg your pardon.
Hweddle wants to go first.
Yep.
Then I think I'll go second, Lump, and if
And then
Reginald want to
Reginald.
go last, then
Okay.
Reginald goes last.
All right, sounds like a plan. Okay, let's start up with Hweddle then. So yes, you have a flaming bandit or raider, and then you have 3 raiders outside the tomb, right outside the door, and the dark priestess behind them.
Right. So this is phase 2, the 2-phase fire and ice plan.
Okay.
Inside the door, we got fire floor. Outside the door, I want some ice floor. I'd like to cast black ice.
All righty, black ice. Let's take a look at that. That sounds awesome to me. I have not seen the black ice one before. Yes. Invisible, nearly invisible black ice. Anyone entering immediately falls prone, slides to the far end of the affected area. If the result of your spellcasting test equals or exceeds an enemy's threat rating, they do not see the ice. I am going to use a Dark Fate to increase the threat of basically all of the bad guys on this one. Again, that's only lasts for a round unless I renew it with another Dark Fate, but I feel like it's appropriate. So, okay. So I will keep that in mind. So their threat is higher. That said, though, you can definitely do that. Lump, everyone has been killed. You're fighting in the afterlife. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
That's not the case. So what happened is you were brought to the mausoleum. They did some exploration. Inside, Hweddle and Regina set up this oil trap where there's basically oil on the ground, and then Regina succeeded at a tinker to make a kind of twine that was strong enough to trip the first one walking over it into the oil, and then waited in ambush. There are 4 raiders plus a dark priestess who you see on your screen on the Twitch stream. The bandit fell, or the raider fell, exactly as hoped, into the oil, whereupon Regina threw a torch and set them on fire, doing 8 damage, I believe it was, to that first one. And the bandits are very much surprised in this first round of combat, which means that anybody who attacks gets a +2 to hit them. The bad news is that the smoke is now coming into your unventilated, unwindowed rooms of the mausoleum, which may cause you problems down the line. But in any case, so the order that was set up was Hweddle first, Regina second, Lump, you going third, and then Reginald 4. And now I think you're caught up. So,
Cool. Thank you.
So Hweddle, you may now do this black ice thing, if you wish. Now, you're trying to do this, cover a patch of ground. So you're trying to do this past the fire, though, right? Like you're trying to do this on the other side. Okay. Here's what I'll say. I'll allow you to do that, but you are going to be exposing yourself in particular to attack to the flaming dude, because the flaming dude's right there. So I'm just warning you that depending on how things go with this spell, that might be the one who might attack you back. I'm just letting you know.
Right. I don't think it's a... Do I need to... I can't remember how spellcasting works now.
Oh, that's right. You don't actually... Oh, no, you do... No, you're right. It doesn't actually cost you anything to do that other than a full action and a spell point. So this person, if they're not otherwise dealt with, will be attacking you when it gets to their actions, if someone else has not already done so. But yes, that's fine. So it is going to cost you a spell point. And this black ice appears on the other side of the door. So let's see. And you're going to want to do this, I think, because it's affected 3 meters by 3 meters. You don't want to do this right underneath their feet, because they will be immediately aware of it, and then it won't have the effect you want, right? Like you're going to want it in front of them and the door, if you follow what I mean. Between them and the door, basically. So that if they miss it, they will then slip. Is that what you want to... I just wanted, to find out. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you do that. So the black ice appears, shimmering to you anyway, in the desert moonlight. All right, Hweddle, good stuff. Next up is Regina.
Okay, how many enemies can I see now?
You can see the flaming guy. You can see 3 beyond the flames. And just beyond them, you can just make out the Dark Priestess.
So, would the one behind the flame be more difficult to hit than the one that is already inside?
That would be the case, yes.
In that case, I'll try a ranged attack on the flaming guy.
Okay, sounds good. Be aware that this ranged attack is going to be done at -2.
Yes.
Because of the smoke, etc.
I haven't done I need to quickly figure out. I do have... So, -2. Okay, 1d... Okay, got it. I think I got it. So that is 3... Throw! 14.
Okay, let's see. This is where that increased threat that I just provided may be of use. Let's find out. Ah, yes, I brilliantly decided not to put a bookmark right where the monsters are. Give me just 1 second. I'll find them again. I know where they are. Okay. Right. No, it's not a lich. It's not an ogre. It's not a vampire bat. There we are. Okay. That is not going to hit. And again, that is probably because of this, this extra ability that was just given to them. So, let's see. That is going to be a failure. And I would say... Let's see. How am I going to do this? And you were aiming at... Okay. I think actually what I might do is I might have them... Yeah, because they're all part of that. Okay. Right. So, you shoot and you miss, but your spot, your spot is noticed, let us say, because of where you fired. And so the priestess behind sort of growls in anger as she sees you and is going to cast a spell in your general direction. By which I mean it's going to cast a spell at you. Okay. So, let's see. They are going to... Okay. So, I need you...
Stelio points out that I forgot the surprise.
Did surprise factor into this? Did you add the +2? It's still the +2
Would take me to 16.
with 16 wouldn't be enough because again, because of the threat
then it
roll.
doesn't matter.
But thanks, Stelio, for the reminder. But yeah, because of the extra threat, that did not have that.
Surprise!
Good job, GM. Good job to do that. Good work you did there. Okay, so stepping forward, she holds up this kind of green, glowing, ominous gem. And she looks at you balefully through the flames. You can just see sort of the smoke and flames flickering. And she says, and reaches out to you. And suddenly you feel something gripping your body. I need you to make, please, for me, Regina. This is going to be a craft defense test.
Bad magic.
Craft. Okay, yeah. So 3d6 plus craft, yes?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Body grippers.
14 with a double.
Not enough. You feel this, this feeling of something grips you, and as she moves her body, so she kind of like sort of moves her arms like this, you feel your arms kind of being almost moving in the same direction. You're not a puppet. Your will is your own. You can do what you want. But you feel like some bond has suddenly been drawn between the two of you.
Okay, I shout, she magicked me, she magicked me!
Okay, that's going to lead us to Lump. You were up next. There is a flaming bandit, there is a Huedel, there is a screaming Regina, a bunch of flame, more bandits, and a dark priestess. Other than that, everything's great.
So, logistically, flaming bandit in mausoleum.
Yes, in the
patch
hallway.
Of ice in the hallway, got it. Patch of ice where?
So it goes flaming bandit, flame on the bandit and behind them, behind the flame and right outside the door, black ice. And beyond the ice is the bandits and the dark priestess.
Hey, I sketched it out correctly. Nice. Okay, so is there anything else in the mausoleum?
Lots and lots of dead bodies. But there is nothing else in the mausoleum except for, well, Regina's on this side of the...
Just
like
lying
in the room.
around? Are they stacked? Are they catalogued?
No, they are quite well sort of maintained. There's a lot of sand around. You could throw sand. There's definitely a lot of sand here, but the sarcophagi seem to be well maintained and in pretty good condition. As I said, This is a very large mausoleum. Like, oh, actually, you weren't there for that.
No. Okay,
when Regina did a quick scouting mission, it was very big. Like, there are a lot of rooms, and Regina was freaking out about it, and Reginald's like, well, it's very old. And so there's that.
Yeah, so we're talking cathedral-sized sort of mausoleum rather than it being like single casket mausoleum.
I wouldn't say that. I would say more that it's a honeycomb. Many small rooms.
Oh, got
Burial
it.
complex is
Right.
Got it.
Right.
Yeah, nice. Okay, cool.
Even more
Understood.
terrifying is my point.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna wander up, and the flaming dude. They all know we're all here, right?
Now they do, although they're surprised for this round, so you'll get a +2 on this flaming guy if you attack with your melee.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go in fists swinging like normal.
Okay.
Ooh, no, I'm not. Is everyone within arm's reach at the minute?
Everyone.
Party members. Are party members within arm's reach?
So technically this would have to be set beforehand. I would say not quite, because you basically were on either side of the hallway because you didn't want to be in view as they were coming up to the outside of it. But you can be in arm's reach of like Weddle walked up, so Weddle probably is out of arm's reach, but you could be within arm's reach of Reginald. I think Regina probably not, because Regina came up and then fired, so probably just Reginald would be the one that you'd be in arm's reach of. Oh, and Unwin, who is, as usual, sort of huddled in the background.
Why on earth did we bring Unwin?
Unwin wanted to come. You could have left him
We
in the
didn't
temple.
notice.
Yeah, you could have left him at the temple if you wanted.
No,
Yeah, please.
Lump's conscious wasn't there. Unwin is
All
back
right.
at the camp.
I was hoping
Never
it
mind
wasn't.
at the temple.
I was hoping I could get that through. No, okay.
He's not going. I'm not sorry. No, time out.
he's back at the
not
temple.
take Lump. No, he's back at the camp with Prish.
Yeah,
he's
the
not
first
at the
bandit
temple.
goes up in flames, and Unwin's like, "So, what do you want me to do?" And everyone's just like,
Yeah. Everyone's like, whoa.
So you left him with
hold up.
Prish? Okay, I'll allow you to
Yeah,
leave him with
no.
Prish. That's fine.
He is with Prish. I'm not. Lump is like, the temple smells like bad magic. Child is not going near the temple.
Okay, fair enough.
Bad magic, no children, right? Okay, absolutely not. Jeez Louise. By the great wizard's guts. My lord, right. I'm going to go in. I'm just going to swing both fists at this dude, because I think I've waffled on for long enough. 3d6 plus numbers.
That's your furious clicking. What?
25.
25. Now that is actually, believe it or not a great success. I mean, still, don't get me wrong, it's lovely and all, but
It's good and all.
it's
but
a good success. Yeah, I mean, good job. But that is a standard success because it's not doubles. So, with a standard success, what that means is as follows, as you're in the process of this. With a standard success on this melee attack, you will be able to hit your target for full damage, but your opponent is going to hit you for half damage. Maybe, the fire burns you maybe as you're being hit by this. It's okay, though. Trolls aren't affected by fire. It's fine, right? Wait a minute.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Or
okay.
acid. It's fine.
So, or acid. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so, right. So go ahead and roll your damage then.
Okay. So damage is plus that, plus that. Yeah, so that's just a standard success. Okay, cool. 6 points of damage.
Okay, 6 points of damage. Now, the fire before ignored armor, but this does not. So, let's see. They have a leather tunic. So, okay, so you slam right through the leather tunic, and you do a lot of damage. You don't completely kill this raider. But as that's happening, though, you are also going to take damage from him. So, let's see. Okay, I'm going to have him do that. Right, okay. So he's going to do his damage back, which means... and then down to 10. Okay, so you are going to take a total of 5 points of damage. 10 halved down to 5. So from that, 5 armor lump, if any?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I've got
what's your
12
armor?
armor.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So X in the first
box
symbol,
and then slashes in the remainder
and then
of the ones
slash
that
in
are
the
affected.
remainders.
Yep.
And then I'm right in thinking the next hit on the next combat means another X.
Correct. So next combat you start
okay.
with an 11 armor unless...
Yes.
And also possibly less depending on whether you spend time to refit the slashes. So yeah. So 7 out of 12 armor. Okay, so he does damage back, but not enough to hurt you. But he is also flaming, so there's that. All right, good work, Lump. Next up here is we've had Weddle, we've had Regina, him, and then we have Reginald. All right, Reginald.
I think the Burning Man should be introduced to some more of the elements in a shocking development, and I'm going to try and lightning bolt his head off.
On their turn, that could be the case, Stalio. Okay, you may proceed to do that. So,
Okay.
with your power of lightning bolt.
Power of Lightning Bolt with my Nature Focus, which gives me a +8, plus the Surprise Attack, which takes it up to +10.
+10. Now, to be clear, you are stepping up so that you're like next to Weddle, right? Because you're behind. Like you need to step up to do this. You know that, right?
I just need to be able to see him. So yeah, I'll make a movement to have him in sight.
Okay, right. Okay, you may proceed.
Okay.
So
All right.
let's see what that ranged attack does.
I mean, it's a 22, but you do get a Dark Fate.
That's true. I appreciate the Dark Fate.
Thought you
but
might.
But that obviously is going to hit.
Okie dokie. So that's going to be 1d6 plus 6. So that's going to do 10 points of damage.
Yeah, you just absolutely destroy him. There's just zap. Yeah, he basically just is a stain on the floor now. And the other raiders behind the fire are kind of like, oh. Now, the other thing is that with that, that was a success, but it was not a great success. So what I'm going to say on that is that when you did this this attack with a standard success, I'm going to say you're not going to be placed in danger because of the fire, but I am going to say that you must spend an extra spell point to cast that.
Okay.
Unless you want it. So you're basically taking a strain. So you could either take this spell point extra or you can be strained, but it's going to be a minus. So I'm guessing you're going to take an extra point, but you tell me.
Yeah, I'll take the extra point for this one. Yeah.
So now you started this.
Out of 6.
Right, I was going to say. Yep. Cool. Got it. All right, and that was the last of them. Now, the ones who have not acted, which are not the Dark Priestess. The Dark Priestess is gone, and the other guy is dead. So there's that. So there are 3 attacks which remain, and so let's see on this enemy action phase. Okay, so they are going to. All right, there are 2 here. All right. So, 2 of them are going to come up, and they are going to throw something. And what it appears to be is you see the flame basically drops almost to nothing.
You said they run up.
They run up,
Across
not
the
through the
black-
flame. No, through the black
Across the
ice.
black
Yeah, you're right.
ice.
You're quite right.
Yeah.
The black ice. Yeah, it's a good call. That's a good call. I forgot about the black ice. So let's see if they notice it first. They do get a chance to notice it. Let's see. Yeah, good call. All right. So let's see. Notice wits. Huh? Let's see if they can make this notice check.
And the difficulty is 10 plus my craft, so that would be 15.
15. Okay, well, they did not get that. All right, at least one of them didn't. Actually, I guess I need to roll for both of them. So let me see if the other one did. The first one definitely did not. Okay. What's the difficulty again? I'm sorry.
15.
Okay. So the first one does not notice it. The second one does. So the effect of that is that they are running forward, and suddenly one's like, "Ah!" And whatever they're using basically goes with the guy who slips and falls. So he basically like splays out along the floor. The other one stops and kind of halts, sort of like kind of falls back and forth a little bit, but then or shakes back and forth, but does not fall. The other one, though, ends up in the hallway, covering a bunch of what looks like sand that was used to put out the fire, but he is lying prone in front of you all, which means that next turn you'll be able to get a +2 to attack him before he can get back up. So one of the guys is in front of you. The fire is now out. There is smoke that's there, but the smoke is not going to continue to increase, which is good news for all of you about the smoke. Maybe not as good that they now have access to be able to get in there. So, but in any case, so you have one guy prone lying on the hall, not that far from Huedel actually, and then you have the other guy who's still outside on the black ice, and they shout a warning, and so the one behind them moves up carefully to cross over the black ice, but because they have to go really slowly, they're only just going to get to the hallway, and they won't be able to actually attack you this turn. And the Dark Priestess has already gone, so that is all that we've got for this turn, which brings us up to the top of the round. So to reset, as we're at the top of the round here, we have Regina, who has something weird going on with the priestess. No one exactly knows. We have Reginald, who has just shot a lightning bolt. We have Lump, who just pounded this flaming dude into submission. And we have Weddle, who previously cast the Black Ice. Near Weddle and not far away from Lump is the prone raider, who's just lying on top of this pile of sand. There's not much fire now. And then outside, on basically right on the edge of the hallway, are two of the raiders, and behind them, the Dark Priestess. So with that said, what order would the party like to go in?
Mike, if you're saying something, we cannot hear you.
I'm speaking to my cat. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, that is fine. I totally get that.
Yeah, I was just
Reasonable.
double checking a couple of effects for me.
I was just going to smush the person who's prone, so I don't mind when I go.
Well, then,
In terms of meters, how close are the enemy group to each other?
Since they are mostly grouped now, at least the two bandits are grouped near the door. So the one bandit is probably a good 3 feet to a meter, right? So probably like the one bandit near you is probably 2 meters at the end of the hallway leading out from the outside into the room where you are in the mausoleum. He's the one who's prone. 2 meters behind him is the group of 2 other guys. And those 2 guys are next to each other, like right next to each other, like, I don't know, fifth of maybe, whatever, like right next to each other, basically. The priestess is probably a couple of meters behind them.
Okay. I'd like to go first.
Okay.
I'd like to go second.
I'd like to go last.
That means I'll go third.
All right.
Lump Smash will go third.
All right. So let's get started then with Reginald.
Okay. So the wind starts to pick up and the smoke starts to swirl around in the
Your favorite.
mausoleum. As I target the 2 at the one of the 2 that are in the middle of the group. So you've got the one who's prone in the front,
Right.
the 2 behind them, and then the priestess behind them, right?
Right. But
Got
the
that
priestess
right?
is probably out of range of this, but the one in the hallway, I would say.
You say that. Anyone within 10 meters
10
of my
meters.
chosen target is affected.
Interesting. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. So I'm going to blast one of them with a gust of wind, and I need to make a difficulty check of 11 for this.
All right. That sounds good. I've also used a Dark Fate to increase the threat of these creatures again. I'm sure you're shocked.
Luckily, this one doesn't test against
No,
them.
I know that. I'm just thinking about it for future.
That's why I like it so much.
Quick
True.
question on that. Do you mean any one of the creatures, or do you mean all of the creatures as a group?
I pick an enemy,
No,
and then...
of.
Oh,
What about me?
Sorry.
Sorry.
The Dark Fate, you said you've increased the threat of these creatures. Do you mean all of them as a group, or just one of them?
I mean,
That we don't know about.
Well, you can be allowed to know. I have increased the Dark Fate of the bandits, basically all of them, the bandits and of the whatchamacallit. I've increased the fate of one of the bandits, we should say, and then the priestess. So
you've done
total of 2 Dark Fate, 1 on each, because the priestess is different.
I didn't know if you'd spent. So I was just trying to figure out in my head. I didn't know if you'd spent 3 Dark Fate on all bandits, on all raiders, or you just like you have the power to go. I'm going to use 1 Dark Fate and increase the challenge or the threat of all of the creatures in play at the moment.
Yeah, no, I believe it has to be done per individual.
Okay.
But actually, I should double check that just to be sure.
It's just the way you said I've increased the threat of the creatures. I'm like,
well, it's
oh,
because
no.
it's both the bandit and the Dark
Yeah.
Priestess, so that's why. But while I'm on the subject, let me just see.
But like, if you were to say, I don't know, I've used Dark Fate to increase the threat of a creature, like that means we don't know who.
Yeah.
But
It's
means
an
one of them,
enemy.
doesn't it? Yeah.
It's an enemy. And it actually is not clear as to whether I'm obligated to tell you, but I will say that I have increased the threat of some of the creatures, but at the moment it's the Dark Priestess is one and one of the bandits.
Okay, cool. Just making sure it wasn't like a group thing.
No. Yeah, no, Mike didn't root as I thought it was. It's per enemy, so that's fine.
Out of a route, no, not into. Out of a TPK.
Out of a TPK. Okay.
Yes.
No, I wouldn't have done the whole group. Okay. So, where were we? Oh, gust of wind.
I was gust of winding, which mathematically can't miss.
I guess that's true.
Mm.
Although there's a defense test against this, right? No, I guess not. I guess
I
the...
don't know if that's against me. If it's cast against us.
No, I guess the defense test would be against them. Like, for example, they had a chance to notice the black ice. They do have an ability there to do that. So...
Yeah. It doesn't mention anything about them being able to defend. It just says
Yeah.
I have to beat the difficulty.
Just the
but
difficulty.
you can discretionally increase or decrease it depending on the size of the enemy, apparently.
Right. No, I don't think so. This is it is an average humanoid, so I would say it's that difficulty. So you're saying you can't miss on the 11 is what you're telling me?
Yes, I'm going to roll because it might be a great success.
So it was but a standard success. Oh no, it's a
No?
that's not true. It is a great success. So, all right. So with the great success, there will not be extra consequences to this. So that means you can just cast it and do it. Okay. So
And a big sweep of, I guess, stinging sand will be thrown into the mix outside there as well, just for flavor. That guy and every enemy within 10 meters is knocked to the ground and takes 6 damage.
that is not cool, except for the prone guy, I guess, who is already knocked to the ground, right?
Did the
let's
prone
see.
guy take damage for slipping on the black ice?
There was damage taken, yes, by landing on the black ice. So, but what I'm trying to decide is whether there's also damage taken now by them being swept away. I'm inclined to say that he's not going to be swept away because he's already lying in sand on the ground, Reginald. So I think the other ones, the 2 guys who were on the ice, are definitely now going to be swept away and slide around on the ice, as will the priestess behind them, although she's not on the ice. Okay, so you said 6 damage.
6 damage does not ignore armor.
Does not ignore armor. Okay. So...
Because that would be even more broken.
Yeah, that would be absolutely ridiculous, as opposed to just somewhat ridiculous. Okay, so we're going to do that.
So what you're saying is I haven't one-shot the entire group.
No, you have not. That would be funny. These are not bats. Although it's funny that as I turn to find the page, I see the bats that you previously one-shot at that time with your favorite item, the gust of wind. Okay, let's see. So... that's interesting. Okay. So okay. I'm going to use a dark fate to activate an ability from the dark priestess, which is called Blessing of the Dark Gods, and it means that it will only take half damage from your spell, which was so, and they also had armor protecting it. So they do take a little damage, but not very much as a result of this. And they are also, unlike their companions, not knocked prone because of this Blessing of the Dark Gods. So the Dark Priestess is up, has been slightly hurt, and the Raiders up front, no such luck. They do fall to the ground and, take that damage, although it is reduced somewhat by armor.
I do not know if this exists in the system, but did the sometime like the concentration break or something, and I feel unmagicked?
No, did not happen with her, and that's a good question, but no. So, let's see. That was still pretty effective, I would say. In fact, I'm going to just double confirm that it's not because I don't want to be unfair. Let's go up to that. Yeah, no, it does not. It does not affect that. So it is not it is not concentration driven. Okay, or the equivalent in talisman terms of concentration. Okay, so you just get that spell off. Good stuff, Reginald. All right, so now, Hweddle, you have a prone person in front of you lying on sand. You have two prone people lying on the black ice just outside the mausoleum, and then a very angry-looking dark priestess.
Go on then. I will attempt to melee the guy right in front of me lying on the floor. I say attempts because you never know with Weddle if he's gonna manage it. With spells, ones that has the type 3 as opposed to full, is that equivalent to a bonus action in D&D?
So, say that again?
I've just got a spell that has type 3 instead of full as the action type. Does that mean I could do a full action and a free action in my turn?
No, it'll say whether it should say under the spell if it is a full action or not. I mean, it should say it literally under the description. Do you want to tell me what the spell is?
Yeah, Cloak of Shadows.
Yeah, Cloak of Shadows is a free action. Yeah, you're right. So free, yes. So that would mean that you could do that. Take that as a free action. You could cast it on yourself or technically on another character, and then you could take another action after that.
Right. Yeah, I want to cast Cloak of Shadows as a throwback on Lump.
I remember that time when that happened. Sounds like a plan.
Fists of Darkness. Yeah.
You do have to cast to try to beat a difficulty, though. So
Yeah.
So you are going to have to do that. So you'll be making a spellcasting test for this.
All of my lights in my house just turned off.
I just saw that. I was like, I thought that was just sort of atmospheric.
Sounds like super atmospheric.
No, that was not intentional.
Well, you didn't lose your power. You're still with us.
Yeah.
I know, but now I'm scared of the dolls.
It's okay. The dolls are in Lump's bag. It's fine.
Why
There you
did that
go.
happen?
I don't know.
We actually left the dolls at the temple, so they are fine.
Right.
Oh, they're fine. They're fine.
But as
They're
this happens,
okay.
the dolls are like... like
I mean, you've always had those dolls on that table behind you, right?
wow.
No,
Laugh it up,
no.
Mr. Playing
Why would
Phasmophobia
you
with
do
me on
that?
Saturday.
Yep, I know.
No, that's genuinely really freaked me out now. I'm
I'm
going to be
so
freaked out
brave.
forever.
Oh, that's weird, yeah.
All right, 3d6, nature spell casting, so it's plus my resolve. Let's go. 15 needs to meet a difficulty on the spell of 11.
It's 11, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Yep. So that is that's a great success. So you just make it. You don't lose any other points or anything. So you're able to do it. And who are you casting Cloak of Shadows on?
Lump.
Okay. So Lump now is covered in darkness. And so any damage the target would take as a result of ranged or melee attacks is halved until the start of your next turn. So good stuff, Weddle. And you have another action. That was a free action.
Yes, I'd like to melee the guy, please.
Okay. The prone dude in front of you in the sand, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You can do that. You are doing this at +2. They are, in fact, they are no longer surprised, but they are prone. This one is.
Excellent. So that is roll 3d6 plus 2 for the prone. Do I get plus agility because I have the melee?
So then,
which
yes,
is-
it'll be 3d6 plus aspect plus 2 at least.
Yep. And I have -2 to my agility right now.
Oh, right. So -2.
So,
3d6 plus 2,
yeah.
just, yeah.
There you go. Not that it is -2, it's that my agility was 4 and now
Oh,
it's
right.
2.
So you had a 2.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, so it means a total of 11. Let's see. And that is not a standard success, I think. Let's see. Okay, that guy Yeah, that is not unfortunately going to hit. I'm sorry to say. That is a failure, which means that as that damage has been a failure on a melee attack, that means your opponent is going to be able to hit you for full damage. So he kind of like sort of stabs out at you from where he lies on the ground. And he's going to do with his sword. Wow. He rolled real well there. That's going to be 10 points. Now, I don't know if you have any armor or not to begin with.
Now we blew through that. I didn't repair it.
Okay, so then you're at 15, I believe, because that was 10 points as he hits you. Are you at 3 out of 5 spell points or 4 out of 5, Weddle?
3.
3, okay. Okay, so a strike for the bad guys. Okay, then we have Lump is up next. And then Regina.
Yep. Give me 2 seconds.
1, 2.
Okay, cool. How far away is the Dark Priestess?
Let's see. So, about 10. So I think what I said was all told would be about 25 feet, probably. Because I think it was about 9-ish meters.
So I'm gonna try and explain how this is gonna go down.
Okay,
and
I
you're
can't
gonna
wait.
let me know how this happens.
All right, I cannot
So there
wait.
is
I'm here for it.
there is a pouncing motion from Lump, and this void-shaped troll flies through the air towards the dark priestess, and just tries to spear her in midair.
Oh, because the theory is that you're going over the prone dudes. Is that the idea?
Yep.
I see. So you have to run and then jump over them. I'll accept that. As you make but I am going to ask you to make, I think, an agility test, because you're going to have to clear the black ice.
I mean,
so you basically have to run through the hallway
fair.
and then clear the black ice, right?
That's fair. Would you accept athletics? Although I think that's agility as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, sure, as long as it's agility focus.
Yeah, sure, as long as it's also agility. Okay, let's try 3d6 plus agility.
Hey, got it, dumplings. No, not PvP. Right now, this is PvB, player versus bandit. What we got going on? Or PvP, player versus priestess. We got that.
15.
Okay.
And it's a double.
It's a 15 and it's a double. Yes.
I don't know.
Recall,
if that helps.
though.
I could
Recall the
drop.
threat increase. Recall there
Wait,
was
how
a
does?
threat increase.
Hang on. How does that increase the threat of a jump?
No. Your oh, that's true. That's just for making the jump. Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, you're fine. So you make the
Did
jump.
you increase the threat level of the air?
No. No, that's right. I was thinking about her as
That's
the
my
armor.
job.
My bad. So yes, you are able to make
just randomly increased gravity.
Yeah, that's right. You are able to make the jump with no problem.
Thank God.
Yes, you make the jump easily. Now you can get your attack in on her. She was the
Excellent.
one I was thinking about.
Excellent.
So you're able to do
I'm
that
also
and
gonna
clear the ice.
I'm also going to use heedless. So thematically on
Seems
point,
appropriate, yeah.
I have catapulted myself into the Dark Priestess. So heedless basically says you prefer to charge headlong into battle, never counting the cost. Sounds like someone we know. You can spend 1 light fate to let a creature you're attacking deal its combat damage as if you rolled a failure on your attack test. If you follow it with an attack test that has any grade of success, you can roll an additional damage die when wielding a one-handed or 2 damage dies when wielding a two-handed weapon. If your damage test is a failure, you suffer no additional damage.
So in other words, she gets to attack you,
Yep.
right? And then
as if I failed.
right. And then you can then you get to roll extra damage if you get any success on your attack.
Any success.
Gotcha.
So now it's up to your discretion whether or not you count both fists as 1 or 2 weapons. Because I've been using 2-weapon fighting for every combat.
No, I'll
encounter.
count it as 2-weapon fighting. That's fine.
Yes.
That's fine.
Awesome.
So, all right.
Oh, I
So-
really hope this works.
Okay, so now she's going to do.
Me too. I
It's
want
a
to be
bold
unmagic. I'm like
move.
seriously.
I'm
I've been
on
thinking
board.
I've been thinking the whole time what kind of magic is on me. So please just knock her out, okay?
Oh God, I've turned him into a bullet.
Okay, so we're going to have her use... She takes out this obsidian knife and kind of stabs out at you as you come in. She is going to do 7 points of damage, which I think will use up the rest of your armor.
So is that halved already, or because I've got the Cloak of Shadows?
Because you have the Cloak of Shadows, yeah. So then I guess I would say no. So it would be 4.
Cloak of Shadows. Cloak
Let's
of
say
Shadows,
round it
Cloak
up.
of
So we have 3 of 12 left.
Oh.
So 3 of 12 armor.
One,
And now you
two,
can do your
three.
damage.
Yes, excellent stuff. So now I just need to succeed, basically. So now attack. Yes, so normal attack. I remember how to do this.
And here there is an increased
3,
threat concern to worry about.
Yep.
With her.
3d6 plus that. Plus that. Excellent. Come on. 21.
Let's see. Yes, that is enough.
Yes!
But it is just a regular success, but that's okay. A standard success is good.
It's still a success.
Yes.
That's fine. It's still a success. So for a success, I roll 2 additional damage dice.
I
So,
wonder, by the way,
count
when
them,
you
folks.
do this, if I then do get to hit you for half damage again. I assume so, right? Because it seems
no,
otherwise...
Well, no, it says if your attack test is a failure, you suffer no additional damage, but that's all it says. So I would assume yes, you do.
Okay. All right. Well, let's resolve yours first anyway.
That's my guess. It's a healer stuff, so you get a free sort of like
Right.
thematically.
Extra
that's
addition,
like you
yeah.
get a swipe,
Yep.
and then I get a big hit, and then you get your normal.
Yep.
sort
I'm
of
all
dig in.
about it. So let's see that full damage
Cool.
then.
So that would be 3d6
That
damage.
just hit.
Not a great success, so I don't get to add my brawn, which is sad. But I do get to roll. Oh, I've lost what I'm doing. There I am. 14 points of damage and a triple.
Okay.
Not that matters on damage, but I just like to point out whenever I roll a triple, I just like
Yes.
to point it out.
You just want to make sure that we're all clear about that.
I just want to make sure everyone sees that.
Okay. So, this does 2 things. Okay. The first is that when you hit this, you just absolutely like basically, Superman and Man of Steel blowing Zod past like 3 farms, like you just like she just flies backwards. But as she flies backwards and you take that 14 damage, Regina, you feel as if you've been socked in the gut and you fly back against the wall. You take 14 damage as well.
What?
This ignores
What?
armor.
Why? I didn't take the damage she got before. Why do I take this?
You don't know, but you got hit by this damage. She hits the ground and rolls, and she looks as if she's dead. But then, thanks to the careful use of a dark fate by the GM, she pulls herself up using the final dark fate from the GM, by the way. She pulls herself up using what is known as fanatical strength and stands up, basically. Now, as you've been hit by this, or as you've been hit, did this, she is going to get a chance to do damage back to you. So the opponent is going to hit you for half damage. So I'll say that you were hit by that dagger again on this. Now, you've still got that void going on for the rest of this turn. So she's going to get... okay, 6, 3, 2. So you're going to take 2. That's after being halved twice. So you're at 1 out of 12.
Yep. 1 out of 12 armor.
Yep. Okay. And by the way, it does occur to you that possibly this may have to do with direct attack damage, as in damage that is melee or damage that is directly targeted towards the person, as opposed to Gust of Wind, which is more AoE and which is dealing with multiples. It could be multiple things, but you did not take damage from the AoE, from the Gust of Wind, but you did take damage from Lump hitting her into next week, or so to speak. She is exceedingly hurt. I hope I've made that clear. Okay. And I'm out of Dark Fate. How sad. Okay. All right. So that's Lump.
Aww.
Very impressive. Let's see. That's going to lead us to by the way, Lump is becoming more like the Hulk on a regular basis. I just want to be clear. All right, Regina, you were up next. You kind of like spitting out your own teeth and everything. But you can pick yourself up if you wish.
Okay, Regina gets like nose bleeding and shouts like, "That hurt!" Because it did.
Yeah. It sure
Gosh
did.
darn it, Lump! You've got a punch there.
How much armor, by the way, do you have, Regina? That ignored armor, but how much armor do you have?
12.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, that ignored armor. Wonderful.
Yep. It's amazing. That's a good. That's a good spell that she cast.
Yeah, I
I'm a
wonder
fan.
if Regina really realized what
Well,
is
maybe
going
not.
on.
I don't know. Maybe just like suddenly something I ate didn't agree with me. Like that
Just
pizza.
sitting there going, wonder if I could learn that.
Oh man.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, the thing is, Lump is gonna punch her again. I'm 100% sure of that.
Oh yes. That's the problem.
I have Regina. I have this image of Regina flying out of the mausoleum, being like, "Save the priestess!" Being like, "What? She's possessed! Quick, kill her!" Like, no, I swear to God.
Yeah. Yeah, the question I'm asking myself is like, I don't want to kill myself with my own damage. Because I also do a lot of damage, but slightly less than Lump.
You just need to slightly poke her. Just slight.
Yeah, but I can't. There is no slightly poke option.
Non-lethal.
It's all right. Death checks are easy. I survive them all the time.
Oh god. Oh no. If
Makes
Reginald
note.
pulls
Most
like
fun
if
spell
Reginald,
in Talisman is.
if Reginald like shocks her with a lightning bolt, I'm also dead. Like it's over. Oh no. Okay, I attack the priestess.
Okay. I noted, by the way, that Reginald just happened to jump on a frame showing a skeleton just at the moment when that happened.
Yep.
I'm just saying,
Yep.
like when you said the thing about being dead. Okay, so you're going to attack the princess. How far can you move up?
Yeah, if not, I'll just throw.
You are.
still have
No,
a
I think you
second-
can. I think you can get there because they were about. I think you can get there on this turn. Especially if you throw something. Are you going to throw a javelin? Because you have one left, don't you?
Well, the thing is, I do less damage with the javelin, but the possibility of hitting her is also lower, and then Lump is gonna kill me.
Can you declare it non-lethal damage?
Can I? Does it work like in Shadowrun, where then I have to do all the non-lethal damage, or just the little bit that is missing?
I don't think we've had an occasion to use non-lethal damage in here. Let
Oh
me
yes, we
see.
did last. No, we didn't. That was D&D.
D&D we did, yeah, but
Yeah.
but not in here.
Oh no, I'm so dead.
Oh yeah, that was the fist fight, wasn't it?
Yep.
The poorly timed fist fight by Silver, where he goes, he's absolutely got his clock cleaned.
Yeah, I don't see anything about non-lethal. You'd think you
Oh
could.
no! Oh no!
I mean, I'm thinking about the sort of legacy of Talisman, and I'm laughing at the concept of non-lethal.
I mean,
to
I
begin with,
don't
but-
have to use Merciless or Mighty Blow. Okay, can I fly up and then I think I need to take her down now, because if Lump hits her again or I get
Right.
magic from
It could
Reginald,
be
I'm
worse.
just dead.
Yes.
So
That is a good way to
I'll just do it myself.
put it.
Okay, I would like to melee her,
Okay.
and let's see how I can do it.
And you can do so. She's lying on the ground. She's +2 to hit, by the way. She is very, very hurt.
Yeah. Okay, I'll now melee her. This is gonna be awesome. No. Because Regina just realized she has been hurt. This might have been the fault of the priestess, and so she's gonna try to kill her now.
Okay.
I don't think she really realizes the situation here.
I so wish this had have happened in
Attack roll.
and Lump would have realized what's happened.
23, and it's a...
It's an extraordinary success. Great work. An extraordinary success. This is what warriors do. Your attack is a complete success. In addition to inflicting full damage and emerging unscathed, you cause your opponent additional harm. The exact nature of this additional injury is up to the game master.
Well, I think we're no longer worried about what Lump might do to the priestess.
Wow. Well, let's see.
I've really set off a chain of events with a gust of wind, haven't I?
Okay. So,
God.
let's see.
Okay.
We are going to say, so first of all, I'm going to say that this is going to additionally inflict a wound. I think that's reasonable. So you are going to do your damage, whatever the damage is, plus inflict a wound to your target. Chat. So,
Wait.
yeah.
Okay. I just
What a great
reading.
attack that was.
Do I have to use two-handed master, which gives 2 additional points?
It's however you would have done it, honestly. I'm not going to hold you. I trust you to tell me what you would have done on that attack.
No, well then it would have only been a 22, so I don't even. I can't change it back. Okay, because I calculated it with the two-handed master, so I can't take it back. So it's 1d7, 1d. Yeah, okay, yeah, of course. So what do I roll? The normal damage and then plus 1 wound, or what was it?
So yeah, you're going to roll your damage, and then you will inflict a wound to her. Although the damage may be enough to figure out this anyway, and you will also inflict damage to yourself. We'll see how this goes.
It was 1d6.
Is that all?
Okay.
Oh,
1d6 plus 8.
Yeah. Okay.
It's 1 again.
See, it worked out. Okay, 9 damage. All right.
That is 5 times in a row I've rolled a 1 on the damage.
But see, now you're happy about it. See. Okay.
9 damage.
So
Okay.
that means that you are going to take that 9 damage as well. You're going to be
Yes.
down to 4 life because again it ignores
Yes,
armor.
I'm down to 4 alive now
She
from
is
27.
completely dead. Also, you are going to take a wound. So you need to check a wounded box on your character sheet. You suffer a -2 penalty to all actions while the wound remains. And just as a note, you can suffer multiple wounds. Penalties are cumulative. If you take a number of wounds equal to your mettle or resolve, whichever is higher, you do not awaken from unconsciousness until one of them is healed, even if your life is fully restored. So I'd like to say there's like a sickening crunch to your rib cage or something like that, you know, where you're just like, cool, like a broken rib. I don't know if everyone's ever had a sprained rib or like a broken
Yeah, I had.
rib.
I once did that.
it sucks
is
a lot from everything
Supremely.
Yeah, it's bad. So there's that. So you kind of go flying back, somewhat shocked, Regina. However, you'll be happy to know that the priestess is now lying dead on the sand, and that's a big part of it. At which point, let's see how many of these we've got left. Okay. At which point, the 3 raiders, the 2 sort of stand up and sort of slowly, as fast as they can slowly move off the black ice, and then are basically bolting into the desert. Now you can chase after them if you wish. You could follow them, or you could let them go, but they are definitely have no interest in engaging you at this point.
I just drop into the sand.
How far away are they?
Well, at the moment, they can get away probably a good... They're essentially doing the equivalent in D&D of double moving, so they could get away a good 50, 60 feet. We're talking about, what, like 20 meters or so? And then it just depends if you want to keep running after them, Lump, because they are probably going to be able to move faster than you because they know the terrain better, but it's up to you.
Yeah, that wouldn't... excuse me, there wouldn't have been an opportunity to, like... One of them wouldn't have run past the shadow-cloaked, covered troll that just speared and basically broke their leader. So, if they will have gone within arm's reach, I'll have tried to grab them. But if they didn't, I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, I don't think so. So they zip out, basically book out, and as they do, you can see a couple of the priests who are actually just sort of on the sand. You can see kind of looking out after them and then kind of cautiously looking at you. And Treya emerges from behind the 2 of them. And
Reginald would just like to yell after the fleeing bandits, "It is protected!"
Ooh, nice. That echoes through the desert. Protected. And Treya says, looks at you wordlessly, sees the very injured Regina and all of you sort of standing there and says, "You have earned our aid and our help. Come with me. We shall begin this ritual at once." And that is where I think we are going to bring our session to a close. It's not quite over because the ritual is not a slam dunk, but it is going to begin now. This was good stuff. I do want to, however, for Hweddle and Reginald, I do need you to make one more test at the end of that fight. One more test to see how the curse is going with all of you. So let's do that. That's going to be a fortitude test. Again, for both Hweddle and Reginald.
I got a 13. Oh, and a doubles and a 6. Right with the last roll of the freaking game.
You're like, yay! Oh. So let's see. So that's a 13. And then what do we got from Hweddle? An 11? Is that what that is?
Yep.
Fortunately, not so much. So both of you again fall unconscious. When you wake, Reginald, you find that your, I would say, actually, do you have hair? Does Reginald have hair? I would say Reginald's
it's
hair.
It's wispy, but it's there.
The Reginald's hair is now doing the, wabam. You're now officially as punk as it gets, right? Right, with the hair. Hweddle, you, at this point, when you wake, you all notice that Hweddle is small. And by that I mean has shrunk to about 2.5 feet in size. And the hair and the mouth, all that's the same. But
I scoop Weddle up.
And
so safe now.
And we'll have to see what happens in our next adventure. This was thoroughly entertaining, partly because I was loving the fact that y'all were being very effective, made a very smart ambush move. But once the priestess got that bond on, I was just like, just somebody hit her with a fist. Just somebody hit her with a fist. And then, Lump is just like, wabam, double axe chop.
Yeah.
And Regina's reaction, I know that was partly Pyron's reaction, but Regina's reaction is like, what the hell was that? Like, just, oh God, it was so good. I loved it.
I
And
was
it was
pretty sure it was the priestess' fault, though. So.
Yeah, absolutely. You could definitely blame the priestess. And I should say that unquestionably, the ambush that you all set up helped a lot. That idea of the fire, because it slowed things down rather than them either stealthing in or just overwhelming you. Also, these creatures have the ability to call reinforcements, so they could have done that, except that the whole thing ended way before they had a chance to. And then you took out the priestess, which was smart. Like, go for the boss, right? Because the priestess was dangerous, like had other spells that could be used and everything. And that also meant like that obsidian dagger hit, which is what she'll naturally do to a troll that's coming in on her, also meant she wasn't as able to do spells that she would normally do. So, so we started with a croc fight and we ended with a sand fight. We ended with a cracking of Regina's ribs fight. But it was a lot of fun to watch, and I am very interested to see what happens next time. We will see whether or not you can end the curse, and then we might shift into the next portion of the campaign. But before we get there, I will say thank you, first of all, to Undeveloped Bruce. Bruce, good stuff out of Hweddle today. That was smart thinking, I think, about the oil. And there were other good moments. The black ice moment was also really useful. That helped sort of minimize one of the effects that would have been there. They still put out the fire, but not with the bandit being standing up, which allowed you to do other damage. It also meant that Lump was able to do his troll peed tor thing, towards the priestess. So you had a lot of good moments with that. And I also liked the song, obviously. The song was great stuff too. So good moments from Hweddle today. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the lovely folks find you next?
It was a really good session today. It was really fun. Anytime that we can, I just felt like we had such a good combo there, like
it was
the oil
great
on the floor,
I love
the
it.
thread, Regina throwing the lantern, and then going straight into the ice, and then the gust of wind clearing the path. Everything
great.
Perfect set up for Lump to just like it just.
Yeah, because that all happens in about 30 seconds, right? It says lump, and then it's like, it was great.
Yeah, we're set up for this long, hard raid through the night or whatever, it's like 30 seconds, bam, 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 bam,
Yep.
done.
Yep.
I hope that that's made up for some of the mistakes that Hweddle made last week. It was a really good time. You will find me next at the next session of the Talisman campaign, just because I still don't have fiber internet to be able to stream anything meaningful.
Soon, though, hopefully soon. I hope they will get their senses. Make this happen for you.
Yeah, there's 2 houses that have just sold on my street, which means their fiber connections to the cabinet are going to be freed up in the next few months when the people move out. So I'm going to nab them.
Oh, nice. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's great. So you should just be like, thank you for selling your house. Now I can use the internet the way that I want to. Good stuff, Bruce. Thank you. Good stuff today. Also good stuff, of course, Mike from Lump. We had the off the top rope at the end of the croc fight. We had the, slamming the guy into the dust and then throwing yourself over the flame, what was left of the flames and the black ice and the sand to hit the priest, and almost taking out your companion. You had some serious good blows against Regina there. Serious, good fist fight, and that was good stuff. The Artilla troll was tremendous. I was a big fan of all of that. Also a nice moment, I think, too, about Lump's willing to sacrifice, and that let's not forget here that while Lump was fighting, Lump was also healing on multiple occasions with first aid. So there's a nice little a balance that I like there that we get out of Lump. We need more Lump fanfic, I guess is what I'm saying, while carrying Weddle playing the Kruth. How did you feel about today's session, Mike? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Oh, I bloody loved it. It was amazing. I genuinely can't wait for the next session. This is fantastic. I like to think that occasionally Lump, although on the surface can look like a very two-dimensional character, I like to think that, big troll hit things die. I like to think that I can sort of give him a bit more backstory than that, and I think we're starting to see shades of that with some of our interactions. Like how does this heavy-handed troll know how to stitch people back together?
Definitely.
How does he know? Why was he asking about defenses and war type strategies and stuff like that? And just the fact that Heedless is such an overpowered skilled warrior, and I think it just fits him so well because he is the sort of person that will just bad magic boss person, wabam,
Yep. Straight
in. There's very little like, let's take as many people off the board as we can individually and let's focus fire. No, boss, wabam. that's basically what it will do. But if you want to find out more about myself, you can follow me on all social networks at Peripheral Mike, and I will be streaming, I do not know what, on my channel tomorrow. I guarantee it. I don't know if I'm going to be playing some Phasmophobia in VR in preparation for Saturday. If I do, it's going to be on my own, so I'm going to be pooping myself. But I will be playing something at some point tomorrow, so check it out.
Good stuff, Mike. Thank you as always. Also good stuff. Yeah, exactly. He makes people cry. That kind of an onion, Arudno. Keister. Saber, again, good stuff as well out of Reginald. That gust of wind, Old Faithful, as it were, has some very solid effects. And there were other cases where you also had the lightning bolt, which was important too. So again, some good spellcasting moments, I think, where everyone was kind of in position to be able to do stuff. And I agree actually with what Bruce said, that everyone kind of comboed it really well to lead to that moment. So even though you spent a lot of the croc fight being like rolled over and like, exactly, like repeatedly, and then you had the curse that you had to deal with, that was obviously different in this case. Also, I thought some good role play there with figuring out what it is that's going to matter most to Reginald, and the fact that the party kind of allowed themselves, and either one of those is viable. Other stuff happens if you do the menial task route, but either one of them was viable. And I think the fact that you decided to go this route because it was a mausoleum, like presumably if it's like we have rats in the basement, you'd be like, yeah, whatever, the hell with that, like, but the mausoleum, as you said, made a difference. So that was a nice moment as well. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
That was epic. Possibly the most epic fight we've had since we've started doing Talisman, I think. The way that everything came together there, even the nasty little backfire, which was kind of an oh no moment, but because I was thinking, I wonder if she's done something like some sort of reflect damage or something, but then the gust of wind didn't seem to do anything, so I was like, oh, maybe not. And then but yeah, like the perfectly planned and well executed ambush leading into the initial sort of round of magic and melee, and then knocking everyone down with the like you say, old faithful gust of wind, which I was happy to know I've worked out it can mathematically always hit.
Really, it's
never become my magic. Yeah, well, at least on average size humanoids,
right.
I can always make a DC 11 now.
Right, that's
because of
true.
my
I'll just have to make
crafts
sure you
and
hit
bonuses.
dragons and giants all the time.
that's
from now
it,
on.
yeah.
That'd be
And not bats.
Yeah, and no bats. Yeah, no, God, please. Bats?
Yeah, well, it's proven surprisingly effective. It's a good workhorse spell. I took it because I was like, looks like crowd control. That might be useful.
Yeah.
But it's turned out to be way more useful than it initially seemed.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
But yeah, the Void Troll Pedo just out of nowhere. God, that's a terrifying mental image. Just this shadow troll just going boom. And then Regina going, ow!
That's right, and I forgot to mention Hweddle's making the Cloak of Shadows on Lump to allow that to happen. Very important to note.
It was just great synergy between everyone for that particular combat, rather than a lot of them where we're all running around individually just going, oh no! It was nice the way everything came together, definitely, and yeah, it's always fun. Like I said, what was it Rudnell was saying, this is a good bunch of lunatics.
The best kind.
The best kind of lunatics, yes. But as for me, I'll be back here tomorrow, probably still running around going, oh no, because I'm going to be playing Stalker Shadow Chernobyl some more. And I'll be back on my channel on Thursday with, I'm not sure how, I'm trying to drag myself away from Skyrim to play some spooky games. I'm just having trouble deciding what ones to play.
Spooky Skyrim. Just go do spooky stuff. Go,
There's a few quests that would definitely fit that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Little Dawn Guard, whatever, some action like that. But always a pleasure, Saber. Definitely make sure you check out Saber doing that. Thanks again for Mubon and Dashboard as always. Last but certainly not least, Pyron, again, Regina obviously had some great stuff here too. Not only the damage that was being done, but of course when damage was being done to Regina, and you figuring out like, if I do this damage, I could see like the strain between player and character knowledge, like where you're like, I can't really do this but the other with the thing. And then the fact that you were actually saved by the fourth consecutive or whatever it was terrible damage roll, fifth consecutive one is really something, because otherwise, it was the ignoring armor part that was the problem too, because it was just like, oh, what is hitting me? I love that. I love that spell. I know what my gust of wind is going to be if I ever have a bunch of dark priestesses. How did you? But you got through it obviously, and that was great synergy from everybody. I totally agree. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
I really love today's session, and I feel like we're still getting more into the system and finally like how it all works together and all of this, and it's getting more fluid, and I'm getting more and more out of it and loving the system more and more. And Regina would not really realize what was going on, and so her didn't just like, this one hurt me, this one is doing the magic thing and doing the usual attack, exactly the attack that she would normally do, was the right character call, although I as a player was suffering a lot in that moment.
Don't do this, players, character, me, person.
Okay. Yeah, well, you're gonna see me in 2 weeks for Saltmarsh.
Yep.
But I would like to get a Halloween stream in. Not sure what, maybe some Terraria multiplayer if I can find people for it, because I think that would be fun. They have this Halloween event on there. Otherwise, still trying to find a slot for me playing Skyrim, because I don't know a lot about Skyrim. I've actually managed for like a decade to stay clear of Skyrim information. I'm currently not watching Saber because of it. So if I was to play Skyrim, this would be kind of a blind Skyrim stream. And I mean, where do you get this?
I was
nowadays?
gonna say that's gotta be the last blind Skyrim stream that exists. That's gold right there. You should be all over that.
I do realize there's a thing like a Dragonborn. I know that there's a thing like shouts, like Fush Roda or something.
Yes,
These are things that I know more or less, but that's about it. So I'm trying to find a spot for this and then install Skyrim, just hope that I get a setup on stream so I really go into it blindly. That's a thing.
It's going to be good stuff. I'm excited for it, and I'm glad. I know we all started out, a little bit tired and so forth. I hope everyone felt a decent amount of energy by the time we were done after that little tete-a-tete with raiders in the desert. But good stuff today. I cannot wait to see the conclusion of the Shifty Lad and the Curse of the Servant's Coin, and then see what the world has in store for us as we go forward in this campaign. Thank you, Blaze, for the follow. Chat, can we get some love for our amazing players, for Pyron Jade, for Darksaber 2K, for Peripheral Mike, and for Undeveloped Bruce. Players, great work. Thank you all, and I will see you all soon. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
All right. That is going to do it for us. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Where am I? There I am. That is going to do it for us, at least here on GOG Comms Twitch channel. I hope you folks enjoyed this as much as I did. I agree that I do like this system as well, and I have been enjoying playing through the campaign that we've had so far, that I've been linking together, and we've got more of that is on the way too, I should say. So we've got more campaign stuff that's going to be happening as time goes on. But for right now, I've got to rise up on out of here, and I will say that I'm going to be back on my own channel in a little under an hour at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll be back on my channel with my voice team, the Arvocalists, as we play some Citizen Sleeper, where you'll get a chance to get this very cool sort of near future dystopian kind of thing, but also with some really interesting humor and stuff like that in there as well. And of course, great voiceover work from my voice actors. So that's going to be a good time. And then that's going to be the last stream from me that's scheduled until next week. There is a possibility I'm going to get some stream in either on Friday or Saturday, possibly in transit, or maybe Sunday, up to or back from Canada, because I'm going up to Canada for CanCon, a convention up there. I'm going to be doing a panel on quiet fantasy. I'm going to be doing a reading. I'm going to be doing a signing up there. So that's going to be happening this coming weekend. It'll be the first time I've been out of the country since pre-pandemic, so I'm looking forward to that. But that's going to be happening over the weekend, so I have no idea what streams I'm going to be doing on my channel, if any. But I will be back, of course, next week. And as I say, I did want to mention this, that next Tuesday, which is in between Talisman and Saltmarsh, we're going to be on Pen and Pixels doing an experiment, and it's going to involve you, chat, because we're going to be playing a game called Road Warden. This is a very text-heavy game in which you are sort of this character that goes forth into the wilderness and tries to find things and do stuff and save the world and do a bunch of things. Anyway, but the reason that I chose it is it's an experiment, because I have done this on my channel quite frequently, but I haven't done it on here. I have a system whereby I can actually have chat vote on different choices that are made within the game. And I'm going to try that with the GOG community for a change. I'm going to use ArvBot Plus, which is my special bot programmed by Effect Life, based on original model of a guy named Netawin. And that is going to be doing, that's going to be something we're playing next Tuesday, where chat will make the decisions. So I'm excited to give that a shot. I don't know whether it's going to work or not. If it doesn't, then it doesn't, and then I'll try something else. But I felt like I wanted to do something a bit different. So we're going to do that next Tuesday. That should be a good time. I am going, it's also part of the reason I'm able to do that as well is that I have an interview that I'm going to be doing in front of a live audience. I'm being brought in as a creative, as a writer and also game master, and they're interviewing me basically about those things, plus my work as a college professor and stuff like that. So it's going to be live in front of an audience and all that stuff, but that's going to be happening in the evening. So I'm only going to be able to be on for probably only an hour to an hour and 15 minutes at most. So that's one other reason that I decided next week made perfect sense to try this little bit of an experiment. So that's the plan. But I'm going to rise up on out of here. If you liked what you saw and heard, please make sure to follow us here on GOG.com. Please subscribe to us here on GOG.com's Twitch channel, and please check out our individual channels to subscribe and do all that good stuff as well. Darksaber will be back tomorrow with more good stuff. You'll definitely want to be here for that. Talisman Adventures will return next month, and D&D with GOG Ghosts of Saltmarsh will come back in 2 weeks from now. Next week, we'll have Road Warden for Pen and Pixels. That's it for me. Thanks, everyone. Arvdas Canada. Exactly, Love Lust. I'm coming up your neck of the woods. But thank you so much to everybody. Much love to all, and I will catch all of you wonderful folks soon. Until then, everyone always please be good to each other. And bye for now.